7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
The Savachi syndrome, I'm telling you, I'm like, well, holy shit, that was crazy. Wait for it. Thick and slick. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Moto Aftermath Show. We are on episode number 178. We are here. We are going to talk some Budds Creek wrap up. We are going to have a full pack show actually tonight. We're going to have Darkside on here in a little bit. Chiz is coming on in a little bit to talk about Budds Creek and heading forward to Ironman. Justin here in studio with us. He finally decided not to bail this week. She just wasn't that much fun, huh?
It was one weekend, man.
I'm funny at night.
At night?
At night. At night.
Technically, it's still kind of daytime.
Anyway, before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, we have a bevy of sponsors to thank here. So, let's get started here. First off, Moto Aftermath Show presented by BC.Pizza. High quality, high end pizzas and junk. If you would get me a read, I would be able to give you some more stuff.
Dude, I told you every week and change it up.
Are you going to talk to Tim? Is he going to be in for next year too?
I'll have to talk to
It's
him.
sponsorship season, baby.
Ooh, did you get me that list for the realty company?
I did not.
Oh,
I will.
okay.
I thought about that yesterday, but I was at the track, which we'll get to.
Like I said, you basically just need me a list of what all the platforms on, and that's all I need.
All right, no problem.
So, we might have another one coming on too.
Anyway, we'll start with BC.Pizza. BC.Pizza. If you are in the Kalamazoo, Plainwell, Allegan, Otsego area, and there's some other sporadic locations throughout Michigan and Georgia.
Yep, that's the furthest south.
Yeah. BC.Pizza. Gourmet pizzas and junk. Full menu. Justin does it with his hands all the time.
We are pizza.
Is that what it is?
No.
Officer Pizzaroli, baby.
Pizzarelli.
Pizzarelli.
Pizzarelli. Like a ravioli.
I just want to roly. Yeah, okay. All right.
Need to make like a TikTok of me like spitting my dough.
Wow.
Stop.
We're not doing that. This is a family-friendly show. Also want to thank presenting sponsor, Premier Custom Trailers. Justin, do you need a trailer?
Maybe.
Yes, we do. You want to know why? Because we're going back racing, baby.
That's a good point.
And you don't want to have to sit outside like I did all day yesterday with no air conditioning.
Travis did go racing this weekend.
I did for one moto. Everybody's going to say I'm soft as puppy shit, but that's okay. We'll get into that later.
Well, it's also 100 degrees in Michigan right now.
Yeah, whatever. So, Premier Custom Trailers. Commercial or residential trailers, Premier Custom Trailers has what you need. They work with the best manufacturers in the industry and specialize in all your trailer needs. Sales, service, parts, and rentals, they do it all. PremierCustomTrailers.com, located 5 minutes south of Kalamazoo on US 131 in Schoolcraft, Michigan. They put the custom in customer service. That's where I'm getting my ATC trailer from. 7x14 foot, tandem axle, air conditioning, black, score. Sometime soon.
Sometime.
I've heard it's built. I heard there's a delay in shipping. Shocker. So hopefully in the next week or two here we'll have that. Hopefully by the time we go back to Red Bud in 3 weeks, right? Right?
Or
Then-
at least Buck. I'll be there, but at least maybe Buck Bash.
Then we won't need the air conditioner because it'll be so damn cold. We'll have to run the heater.
I don't know, man. If it's September, early September, it's still probably gonna be pretty hot. I mean, you got to think it's the end of August next
Yeah,
week,
we'll see. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, also want to thank our last presenting sponsor, been with us since the beginning, TLR Coatings, custom powder coating, Cerakoting, sandblasting, vapor blasting. We do it all. Make sure to look us up, tlrcoatings.com, or check us out on like Instagram at TLR Coatings. Will be the best spot. You can see all the projects we've been working on, stuff we've done, thousands of pictures on there. Literally thousands.
Millions upon millions.
We're not to millions yet.
Oh.
We're working towards, I think, 3,000 pictures on there.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. So anyway, check them out for powder coating. I know all you people out there got trucks, you got cars, you got bikes, you got all sorts of stuff. You're refurbishing bikes. we can help you out, make them look better. We're refurbishing bikes too. I'm looking at Jeff Walker's old CRF 450 right there that we about to get popping. Hopefully Walker's going to be at Buck Bash. We can do a cool video thing of him riding his old bike that I redid. We redid. We.
Yeah, we. I guess it depends on if he finds out if Eddie, if like Kevin and Hubert and Meshi and Chiz are all there.
Yeah, I don't know. We're going to have to see here. So
'Cause I'm going to guess no.
we'll find out. Anyway, also on board with us, JT Cycles. Hey, the Dirt Bike Depot signed back up for next year. We got a new deal coming through with them. So that's going to be cool. We're going to have, we're working on a discount code right now. So that'll be fun. The dirt-bikedepot.com. Also on board with us, Coach Rob's company, Complete Racing Solutions. If you guys ride and you need some help on, off the bike, whatever, fitness-wise, he can help you. Make sure to check them out. I believe it's CompleteRacingSolutions.com. Don't quote me on that. I don't have it on my sheet yet.
Or if you're just a random person that wants to
be in better physically fit. Yep.
Yeah.
They can help you.
Coach is the man.
And our final new sponsor here, Alias Sport. CBD pain balm, chill oil.
Stuff will change your life, guys.
I honestly haven't used it yet.
Well,
I didn't have any soreness yesterday, and I was going to use the chill oil last night, but it was too late, and I need to get up this morning.
I've never used this product, but coming from someone that does use CBD often for all my aches and pains, like, I know that there's a lot of misinformation about this stuff out here, but it really helps guys for anything. And this is not just dirt bike related stuff. Like, if you're just somebody that's had, injuries over the years or just bad genetics and you just have ankle pain or knee pain, like CBD, it really will change your life. It helps out a lot. So.
Sure will. Justin, don't forget, I got to get you some of that before you leave. Got boxes over there.
Boxes?
Boxes. They hooked it up. So we got that stuff now. I put some on Ashley's knees earlier because, as you saw, she was having knee problems going up and down the stairs. She said they felt better after we put it on. So maybe it's time for me to reapply some more.
What, you got knee problems, right? That would be your one thing, right? You said you tore your meniscus?
ACL and meniscus, yes.
So you
had to rebuild. Haven't had issues. I did dab it a couple weeks ago though, and had those issues for a few days.
You don't have any like nagging stuff that just gives you problems?
Nah, not really on it.
Oh, okay.
My doctor did a pretty good job putting me back together. So
well, that's good.
that's a bobcat.
Hi, I was like, oh, there's a bomb coming.
That's a skid steer going on there. Okay, so make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Like I said, show 178. If you guys want to listen instead of watch, if you're watching on YouTube and you don't want to sit there and watch the whole thing, you can listen on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Are you writing this down for your mother?
No. Sorry, I was zoning off there for a minute.
Oh, great. You can also find us on all the major social media networks, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're on all of it. We're not on TikTok.
No.
Fuck that place.
Yeah, the guy that was supposed to do that is a no-show and not committed, so.
Yep, pretty much. He was at the race yesterday.
Yeah, I don't care.
The commitment level was low at the race, too.
I worked at 5 o'clock yesterday and 6 o'clock this morning. I don't want to hear anything from him.
Uh-huh. Also, make sure to check out our new fantasy podcast.
I had a good week.
I was okay. Dude, see, mine was okay, and I still lost points to you, so I'm pissed.
I'm excited for the fantasy show. I had a really good day.
Oh, boy.
No, like, I saw your score, and I did better than you, but it's not like I did a lot better, but, like, we smashed Cole, so that's a plus.
Yeah, we did. I picked up 30 points or so on him, so we'll see.
Yeah.
That went well.
It was just frustrating because I had a really good day, and I still didn't even crack the top 100.
I know, dude.
So there was a lot of good scores after Bud's Creek.
I know. It was wild. Bud's Creek, man. Wow. That was a day there, huh?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into this. We had a lot of stuff going on. There was a lot of good battles going on. That 450 moto was intense. Got a little bit clearer picture going into the last 3 rounds. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about this today.
Let's so we got about 20 minutes here till Darkside comes on.
Okay.
Let's save the Bud's Creek, and I've got some silly season stuff. We'll kind of talk when he's on about that.
We also got to talk about the rumors that are surrounding your boy right now from Husky.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Maybe Darkside can shed some light on that for us.
Yeah, he'd probably be the guy that would have a little bit more information about that.
Yep. So, do you want to talk about... I'll give you some options here.
Okay. So I got to pick one?
Des Nations,
Okay.
MX Sports and the AMA,
Okay.
or Sean Brennan from Feld.
Can we just, since we only got 20 minutes, because I feel if we talk about those last two, can we save that for the end of the show before we sign off?
Sure.
Because I feel like if we talk about that, like we're going to go way past Darkside.
Sure.
So can we just talk about the designations?
That might be a long one too, but that's fine.
You know what I mean, though. It's not going to be as long as those other two.
Yes.
Those other two, like I feel if we get going on that, especially it's just you and me and not Coach, like we're going to go.
So you're a big Des Nations guy here.
Yep. Everybody knows that watches the show. Anybody that knows me knows that.
So how do you feel about this year's Des Nations?
Like as far as...
How many have you heard about all the guys that are not going now?
Yes, I have heard. The one thing I'm really surprised, do you see Marv's on Team France? Marv is on Team France this year.
For the first time in forever. First time in forever.
Well, they had that huge falling out after
Shout out Frozen.
After Ernay
Yes.
in 2016. Mm-hmm. 2015. The last time he was on a 250, and he almost beat Barsha.
Yeah.
Yeah, so whatever year that was, 2015, I don't know, 2016. So, yeah, Marv's going to be on the team. The Netherlands right now, though, they are saying Jeffrey's going to be on the team. The only one that they're trying to figure out, they're looking like it's going to be Jeffrey and Koldenhoff again, but the only one that they're trying to figure out is who's their 250 guy. Mm-hmm. So the Netherlands going to be strong. Italy is still up in the air because mathematically Cairoli is still in the points. Geyser, Slovenia won't have Geyser.
Nope.
Because Geyser, like I said, he's leading the points right now. I think still the biggest thing is that, did you see that we were supposed to have the announcement, and then for Team USA, and then it got pushed back because they're still trying to figure out with COVID restrictions what's going to happen with Mantova. So like the thing was supposed to come out usually at Unadilla, and then it was supposed to be this past weekend, and now they're saying it's going to get pushed back probably till the end of the year. But like I'm curious now, like what our team looks like. Because everybody, I think everybody thought it was a foregone conclusion that it was going to be there was four guys.
Yeah.
Barsha, Sexton, AP, and RJ. Mm-hmm. So RJ still kind of is probably the lock for the 250. Because we know the star guys aren't going.
Nope.
We know that Pro Circuit is not going to, they don't really have anybody. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the two Honda guys are Aussies, and they're going to be on the Australian team.
No, they're not.
Oh, they're not now.
Didn't you see the announcement? Australia is not sending a team.
Well, yeah, because they just got into lockdown, so that would make sense.
Australia is wild.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate because I'm going to be real honest with you. They had the potential to win the whole fucking thing. Mm-hmm. Because they were going to have Jet on MX2, Hunter on MX3, and Luke Cloud on MX1.
Yep.
They probably were going to win the event, if I'm being real honest.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so...
It's a shit show.
The thing is...
It's a complete fucking shit show.
It really is. It really is. And, the biggest thing is it's hard because...
Honestly, they should just call it a day and not have it again this year.
Well, that's what they're thinking about doing, but...
That's probably what's going to happen, to be real honest with you.
Like I said, though, I'm still trying to figure out if we go, who we're going, because now with Barsha at his industry...
I don't even care because we're not it's not going to be a thing. In my mind here, this isn't going to be a thing, number one. Number two, even if you go... Here we go again with the asterisk bullshit. I mean, you've got a huge asterisk behind it because you don't have the Lawrence brothers. You don't have, Geyser. You don't have this guy. You don't have that. There's going to be half the GP dudes are missing.
Well, see, here's the thing, too, is... So, I'm trying to remember the French team. So, the French team is supposed to be Marv MX1, Mattias Boromé, who's actually an MX2 guy, is going to be on a 450 and MX3.
Yep.
But who the hell... The MX2 guy is... Well, it's not going to be the guy who's leading the points, Maxime Renault. I can't even remember who their MX2 guy is going to be. In Belgium, their team is terrible. So, the thing is that the only team that... No matter who wins, there is going to be an asterisk because if Australia not going. But it's if Netherlands sends Jeffrey... Koldenhoff and their MX2 guy, Kaida Wolf, who is the Husky kid, who's really good, you can say that they probably would have won no matter what. But it's dude, I don't really know because say we do send a team. Say we win. I'm not counting that even if we do with our team because still, Hurling's being there.
Yeah.
Koldenhoff being there. Let's be real. Even if we sent our best dudes, it's very debatable whether we would have won no matter what. Like I said, with Jeffrey, even if Geyser's not there. Let's be real. We all know the track record when we go face Curlings and Koldenhoff. So it's okay. But say we do go there and we win. Just hypothetically, say we win. What is the vibe in America that we won? Like, you talk about the asterisks, but, like, we haven't won this fucking thing in a long time. Do you think our Americans are going to be like, hell yeah, like, we won?
No
or
one
like,
cares.
oh.
No one cares about the event here anymore.
Well,
That's your thing.
Well, the industry people don't really care, but the fans care. Like, I completely agree with you about the industry, like, getting away from it. But the fans fucking care about it all. Like, they care about it no matter what. I mean, dude, we know what it was. I mean, I've been to 3, lucky enough to have been to 3 of them. We were there in 18 at Redbud. And, like, dude, even though we all knew that, like, it was going to be a tough wall to climb for us to win that, dude, the American fans were loud as they always are. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I agree with what you say about the industry, but you can't say about the fans not caring. Like, American people, if America is at the MX of Nations, Americans are going to watch the fucking race. They want us to win. Like, even what was it, when we went to Matterley in 2017, where we probably had the worst team we've ever had, outside of Zach Osborne. We had the worst team we've ever had. Dude, viewership for America was through the roof on MXGP TV or whatever the hell it was called at the time. Mm-hmm. So it's like, if we go and we win, like, as Americans, are we proud of that win? Or are we just like, well, we got lucky because, like, half the people aren't there?
Yeah.
But once again, though, if we go, what's our team look like now? Because Barsha, they say he's going to be back for the last 2 Cali rounds, but I'm not 100% sold on that because his injury is very vague. AP right now is hurting badly. We saw that at Bud's, and he's probably not going to be healthy, unfortunately, which really sucks for him. So now you're looking at 2 guys that we have 100% healthy, and that's Chase Sexton and RJ Hampshire. Mm-hmm. Okay, so if Barsha and AP are out, who's our third dude?
Send Webb, I guess.
You know what you actually should do?
Fly the flag.
Chase at MX1, RJ MX3, Cooper put him on a 250. Because did you see the thing that Gypsy Tales when he was talking to Will about this? They were talking about putting Coop on a 250.
Yeah.
Just fucking send him on a 250. Like, we know he's not an outdoor guy on a 450, unless you're going to put him on a 350, which I've been beating that drum for a long time. I think he'd be better on a 350 outdoors. I think a 450 is just, he's not comfortable going that speed, and we've seen it again. We know where Coop's at now. Put him on a 250.
Yeah.
Like, I still believe Cooper Webb on a 250 at those star days is one of the fastest guys to ever ride a 250, like at his peak. But it's like, I'm still going to watch the event no matter what, because it's just, I love the event. But it's like, it's really, I don't know what has to change. Like, I don't know what has to change to make this better, because we all know that without us, it's just another GP race where it's just a team event.
Yep.
Like, we have always been like, oh, we are what makes this event, because it's always US versus them. Mm-hmm. It's always us versus the Euros. I think it's to the point where it's like, because it's not that people, I don't think saying people don't care, I don't think that's a correct statement. I think it's just because it's the thing with our schedule. It's hard. It's hard to get up for that event because our guys have such a long season. They're taxed by then. They're getting into Supercross prep. The fact that we have to pay to go to this race, and once again, we're not going to get into that because that's a whole nother fucking thing.
I have that on my list.
So it's like, I don't really know what we can do to change, because Cowie has kind of stood their ground on how they feel about the event.
What do you think the payout is for it?
For MX of Nations to win?
Yeah.
It's shit. It's nothing.
Take a guess.
I don't know. Are you talking about is it to individually or a team?
Let's go for a team.
I don't know. I mean, I've heard numbers what it was like a long time ago, but like most recently, I think the last number I heard is a team. Now I don't know if how it's done, if it's divvied up individually, but like I heard it's fucking nothing. Like I think the last number I ever heard was like $15,000.
Oh, you're really high. You know what Anstey won in Matterley in 2017?
See, this is what I'm saying. It's
going 1-1.
Probably like $8,000.
$700.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And you wonder why no one wants to go.
Yeah,
You want to know why? Because here we go, and we'll get into this too here later. The promoters are making money.
Oh, yeah.
The promoters are making a lot of money.
MXGP TV or whatever the hell it's called now is making an insane amount of money.
They're making a lot of money. The teams, the riders, they're not making anything. So why the fuck would you go do a race for free?
See, and that's the thing is, and I also think that once again, we can't go down. We could do a whole separate show on this and Coach and Cooksey and Hopper would be it's a rabbit hole. But it's like it's all come down to what it is now. It's not about pride anymore. We know that it's always money is what drives everything. But that's the thing, though. I think when you talk to guys like RV and Dunge and Stu and Ricky and back in the day with Fro and McGrath, the times that he went, and Steve Lamson and Ryan Hughes and Pastrana and so on and so forth, they will all tell you that everybody you guys are not you're not doing it for the right reasons. Like, this is not about money. It's about pride. Like, we're supposed to be better than them. We're supposed to be the best country. And we know that money obviously drives everything, but that's the thing. Like,
I can have a lot of pride and still make some money being an Olympic athlete.
But see, here's the thing, though, is the thing that differs from our sport compared to, like, others, because we know, like, whether the Olympics just got over a little bit ago. So with, like, Olympic wrestling, big thing for me. Like, I'm big into wrestling.
No one gives a shit about that. They don't have to pay money to go.
Well, no, what I'm saying is like, if we're talking about the difference between our sport and other Olympic stuff, like I said, I'm a huge freestyle wrestling guy. I love it. But we have worlds where we compete against the other countries, like Azerbaijan, anything in Russia, where we compete against Japan, all of them, Australia, all the different countries, all the time. So we kind of have an idea. Same thing with with running, like what is it, the Prefontaine Classic or whatever the hell they just did.
Sure,
like we compete against the other countries, so we know where we stand as the best in the world. Where with our sport, we have two separate series. So it's like, we don't really know, obviously with Supercross, well, I mean, other than, Euros are winning that too. Like, obviously Cooper Webb and so on and so forth, but like with Dylan, like Euros are winning that. But like, we, as far as outdoors, don't know if we're the best in the world though at that.
Yeah.
So that's like where, for me, the pride thing comes in. So you talk about pride and make money, and okay, that's fine. But like, if I was out there and I was racing, I would want to know, am I the best in the world? Because that's the thing. Like Kenny and Dylan, like right now, I think Dylan, it'd be a good debate whether he could beat Geyser and Hurlings in a series. I don't think he's faster than them straight up. But like, you don't think Dylan wants to know that if he could beat Hurlings in a championship series? Like, you don't think in the back of his head he's going, I won this championship and I'm making all this money?
Yeah, he probably does, but he'd like to make some money doing it.
But the thing, though, is that as a racer, though, and you know this as an athlete, like, every athlete knows this, you want to be the best. Dylan can't say that he knows for sure he's the best. Just like they can't say they know for sure they're the best. So that's what's hard about our sport is that we don't really know, are we the best or are they the best? And that's the thing, though, for us, we can't even say we're the best in our own fucking series because the top two dudes aren't even from America. And I know people like to say, well, they're French-American, they're German-American. Yeah, that's fine, they live here. But you go up to Dylan and you go up to Kenny, and they're like, are you repping America or are you repping Germany or France? And they'll tell you, I'm repping Germany and I'm repping France. I live here, but I'm not from here. And Kenny's even talked about this. Like, he is a German-American now, but he still has so much German pride, it's insane. I just don't like the fact when guys say, well, oh, it's always about the money. I understand it's always about the money. That's what makes the world go round. But it's like, as an athlete, you want to be the best. And like I said, those dudes, just like the Euros, just like Timmy G and Hurlings, they don't know who's the best because they don't race each other year-round outdoors. So, like, that's my only thing is that you got to, at some point, it's got to be a pride thing. Or unless you're just completely fine with being like, yeah, I won my series, that's fine.
But it doesn't have to be about the, like, it can be about it can be about the pride. But, like, I have a lot of pride in the United States.
Yeah.
A lot of pride.
Yeah.
Goddamn patriot over here, all right?
Yeah. Okay.
To the defile of some people.
Yeah.
It's totally fine.
I mean, there's nothing wrong
But
with
if you tell me, hey, I need you to go be prideful in Europe, and you're going to have to spend $10,000, $20,000 of your own money to go do it, I'm going to be like, yeah, you can fuck right off.
See, and I think that's what I mean as far as the comments about the past guys, that's just different about what today's times are. Because you ask Ricky all day long back in the day, he doesn't fucking care how much money he has to spend to go there.
Yeah, but Ricky was the difference between what Ricky was making then compared to what the guys are making now, like, even the top guys, is ridiculous.
And that's what I mean, though. I know that. That's why I came in high with that number, because I've heard numbers of what it was back then, whereas I haven't heard recent numbers. But that's the thing, though. You asked Ricky, though, back then, would you go race this fucking race for free? And back then he said, hell yeah, because I want to fucking beat Stephen Everts. Same thing with James. Same thing with RV.
Well, I can't help it if they're stupid.
No, it's just that's the difference in the culture that was back then where now. And that's where the comments of our guys are a little soft.
I'm the same age as them. I wouldn't have done it for free back then.
Well, you're not the same age as Ricky. Ricky's in his 40s.
Sure.
You and me are closer to Stu's age.
Whatever. I
But-
wouldn't have done it back then.
But that's the difference, though, between them and now is I think...
Let me ask you this. How is it that we have to go over there and pay like we do, but I can go to Paris for some Hobunk Supercross race there? Mind you, it's not Hobunk, but whatever. You get what I'm saying?
Not anymore.
How is it that Malcolm Stewart can go there and get paid $50,000 to go race for 2 nights there? Plus expenses.
Because the guys that promote the Paris Supercross aren't the same people that promote the GP.
Bingo.
Promote MX of Nations.
Bingo. And this is where this all comes back to, is promoters.
Yeah, of course it is. Well, I mean, we know that that's the root of the problem. We know we have the same fucking problem in our own series.
I know.
It's the promoters.
I know.
Yeah, it has nothing really to do with what the riders are doing. It's the promoters.
Yep.
We've had this conversation a million times with Coach. You know, it has nothing to do with the riders. It's the promoters. Mm-hmm. Because the people that promote the Paris Supercross, it's not the same fucking people it's not YouthStream. It's not FIM. It's like, what the fuck is it called? Like, in Paris International or some shit, or DeLille. I don't know what it's even called, but it's not the same people. Mm-hmm. So, like, that is the difference.
Yep.
Is they are willing to pay because it's their one event.
That's the problem.
Yeah. Oh, of course. No, I don't think anybody would dispute that. Even the fucking people that don't know what we know, they wouldn't dispute that.
And if you do, you're fucking stupid.
For me, I think it's hard, and I'm never going to change my stance on this because I've always been about it because it's our only equivalent to the Olympics. And I just want to know, like...
Look, the most off-the-wall sport in the Olympics, they still don't have to pay to go.
Which one?
I don't know. Pick one.
Oh.
What do you want to talk about? No one gives a fuck about gymnastics except for every 4 years. No one gives a fuck about swimming except for every 4 years. No one gives a fuck about track and field except for every 4 years. But those people get paid.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not a lot, but at least they get paid to train and practice for 4 years, and then they get money to go to the Olympics and all of this stuff like that, right? They get all of that. When no one gives a shit about it for 4 years.
Well, and see, that's what I love.
And we can't come up with $100,000 to send 3 of our dudes to Europe with their families and stuff.
That's what I love about freestyle wrestling is because the dude who just won the heavyweight thing, Gable Stevenson, 21-year-old from America.
There's another prime example of a sport that no one even gives a fuck during the Olympics.
Well, wrestling is tough because it's very hard to follow because there's so much of it that's going on, and the average person, when they watch wrestling, they don't know what the hell.
Wrestling, fencing.
They don't know what the hell. Well, wrestling, it's hard for me to be objective about this because wrestling, I'm very passionate about it. But, like...
When was the last time you went to a wrestling match and paid to watch it?
Well, I don't have time to do that.
That's exactly my point.
Well, the problem with wrestling is a lot of the events don't happen in America. They happen outside of America. Like, Americans going, like I said, Gable Stevenson. We had frickin' Jordan Burroughs, who was our top guy. We had Bo Nickel, David Taylor, Jaden Cox. Like, but the thing is, though, you talk about the money. The funny thing is, Gable Stevenson, he, after winning what he did, and like I said, at 21 years old, the kid's a freak athlete, 275. He just got cornered by the WWE and Dana White at UFC because now they want to sign him. So he may have not made a bunch of money at the Olympics, but now he's about to make a whole bunch of money now.
Hey, all I'm saying?
Oh, no, I don't. You and me have talked about this off the record and on the record a million times. You and me don't disagree on that. The only thing we disagree about is the way I feel is our guys should be as far as, like, the pride thing. But as far as not getting paid, I will never disagree about that. Everybody should always get paid for their worth. Everybody. It don't matter if you're, once again, we are privateer power on the show. It doesn't matter whether you're first or you're getting 40th. You should get paid for your time.
Darkside.
What up?
Welcome to the Moto Aftermath Show, buddy. How are you doing tonight?
Doing good, man. Just hanging out.
Sick. What's the weather like in Texas down there?
Hot as balls.
Welcome to the club. It's hot as balls up here, too.
Yeah, it's I'm over it, man. Let's get some cooler weather coming in.
I went to Redbud yesterday to race a race called Vet Fest, so it's all 18 and up riders or whatever. Rode my first moto, rode practice, rode my first moto, and left and went home.
I hear that. I haven't been on a bike in a long time, but I was working on my bike today, and I was like, yeah, fuck this.
Dude, I mean, we're talking at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm at the track setting up my Easy Up, and I'm just pouring sweat going, this is dumb. Why did I even agree to do this? This is so stupid. So,
Dude, yeah, I had to work yesterday. We had a big sewer main break, and I was in waders, like chest waders. And I never, like, when I got done after 5 hours, my waders were about an inch deep in sweat in my boot. It was disgusting.
Gross. Absolutely gross.
Why are my waders sloshing around? I never went underwater, and I was like, oh, that's sweat.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, you boys that work.
Disgusting.
You people that live down south there, like I don't know how you guys handle it in the summer, because like I want to live down south in the winter when it's cold up here, but in the summer, like I want to go to Canada where it's a little
buddy.
cooler.
Colorado, buddy.
No, I don't want to go to Colorado.
Yeah. I want to go to Colorado.
Well, bud, thanks for coming on the show here. Me and Justin were just talking some Des Nations talk and fixing all the problems of the world, as you know we do over here. So,
of course,
we were talking. We were getting into promoters and everything. So, we were just spitballing some ideas,
as we always do,
because we have nothing but the best ideas. So first up, I just want to give a shout out to you, because you had Sean Brennan on your show a couple weeks ago, and you asked him a very serious question that I was curious on the answer of, like, why do you not give out press credentials to people? And, he answered it. And you ask it much more eloquently than I ever would have.
You just cussed at him, bro. What do you mean?
Like, bro, what the fuck's the deal?
What the fuck, dude?
So I just want to give you a shout out for that, because, yes, that was an excellent question. The answer was subpar, but the question itself was great.
Well, man, he's got to be politically correct.
I
professional for what Feld wants. But, I mean, he told me a couple years ago, that they're basically what he said on the show that night. It was just, they don't want it to be, whatever, some Joe Smith across the street with a voice recorder just show up. And that was, they want it to be like the NFL, the Major League Baseball, and to have some kind of credentials. But then it's still, I think, very difficult to define a podcast's credentials. So I think they're working on it.
Yeah, well, hey, look, all I'm saying is, if he was that concerned about it, old boy wouldn't be creeping on my Instagram and my Twitter, because I found him creeping on my Instagram and Twitter. So I sent him a DM on Instagram.
Crickets.
He left me on red. So now we got beef going on.
Telling you, it's gonna be, telling you, it's gonna be Prater. Okay. It's gonna be Prater next.
Yeah, Prater is gonna be the next one. But we'll start with Sean. So if you talk to Sean, tell him I got beef with him because he left me on red and didn't respond and even tell me no.
You're like a pissed off ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly. I found him in there creeping. Don't you worry.
Hey, just FYI, I can barely hear Justin.
Oh, really? Let me see.
Yeah,
here.
He's way in the background.
Let me see if I turn him up a little bit here, if that'll work. Hopefully.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's quite a bit better. It's still way in the background, but I can hear him now. I can make out what he's saying.
Huh, weird. Well, you know what? Wouldn't be the first time I recorded a show that had super technical issues.
Oh, it would be many.
Us too.
Yeah.
Us too.
Did I ever tell you about the first show we did where we recorded? How long was the show? Was it 2 hours?
Dude, it was a long time, and it was the middle of winter, so it wasn't easy to go back and forth.
Supercross preview show. We recorded like 2 hours.
Right before A1.
Right before A1, only to realize that I had turned the camera off, and the microphone I had for the camera at the time, you had to turn it on after the camera was on. Otherwise, it didn't record. So we recorded like a 2 hour show with no sound. It was pretty fucking sweet.
The really unfortunate thing. Nope. Go ahead. Yeah. Sorry, buddy. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I've been there, man. I've had lots of that same kind of stuff. Where I actually was trying to fix. I moved into a new studio, and I was trying to fix some audio stuff about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I started a test stream on YouTube that I thought I had selected private. And I'm like in my boxers and my shorts just walking around the studio, and like 30 minutes in, TJ's like, "Hey, dude, you're live." I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm just testing." He goes, No, you're live to the public." Yes. I was like, yeah, so I had like or I think there was sound, but I wasn't saying anything, and it was just me walking around the table back and forth from mic to mic. probably scratching my balls. Who knows?
That's awesome.
Dude,
you know they're shutting that down on OnlyFans, right? So you better get in while you
I
can.
saw that. Yeah,
You really,
yeah, I saw that.
You remember the really unfortunate thing about that show is we were on a time crunch because we had to get that show before we got on a plane for California.
Oh, yeah.
And like you had worked there, but like I had worked in Plainwell, and we had only so many days, and then we had to get on a plane. So it was like, do we do another show because we literally have to leave for California in 2 days?
Yeah, that was a huge pain in the ass. So
It sucks.
oh, it's so terrible.
Yeah.
But hey, such is technology. It's awesome. And every Joe Blow has a
Such is
voice
life.
recorder, so
Yes.
we gotta
Yes,
Oh
they do.
man. All right. So Darkside, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you some options here of what you want to cover first. You want to talk about Budds Creek or you want to talk about silly season?
Ooh. Let's go silly season.
Ooh,
All right.
Yeah, because I got a burning question for him.
I got 3 things for silly season, and we can kind of go on some tangents to some other stuff because I'm sure there's some other things everyone's hearing here. Let's start with I'll just wrap this all into one here for this first one. Let's start with the Rocky Mountain team. So
Wow, coming out guns blazing already, aren't you?
well, Shane going to that team is my first thing on here, which is an interesting move.
I just want to know, is he getting paid?
Yeah, that's my big question, too. I haven't commented on there. Forrest hasn't offered to fight me yet, so that's an interesting turn of events. But
Maybe
I'm
Ethan
sure that's
Lane's
coming at some point,
Maybe Ethan Lane's dad's going to pay him.
hopefully. So, do you know Shane Darkside?
Yeah, I know him a little bit. I mean, I don't know him real well, but I know him.
He had back surgery, right, to kind of hopefully
Yes.
fix that.
Yes.
So,
No, he's back on. He's been doing motos, and I do that
Yeah.
air quotes out at Elsnore and Paul and all that. So
yeah. So I don't know, man. It's an interesting thing because to me, with that back, it's very sketchy, especially as long as he's been out.
Well, the fact that he was like, I was on an airplane and my back just locked up, and coming from someone that has
Yeah.
back problems, like I know that, but I'm like, oh, dude, I'm like, that's not like something's going on there that's like a deeper rooted issue, and obviously we know that another person left the series with back issues, so it's like, I mean, how bad is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Anything with a back, in my opinion, I don't think it really ever gets fixed. I think once you have
No.
back issues, you have back issues for life. That's just my
Yes.
feeling, even if it's minimal, but it usually gets worse.
What's the over/under you think he's getting paid?
Oh yeah, I think he's going to get paid now. Whether he's going to get paid as much as he was before, probably not. Whether it falls apart halfway through the season, man, just I don't know. I know I've heard rumors that there's some issues at the team. Obviously, we all heard rumors, but I would think, yeah, I think he gets paid though.
Well, I want to know what he was getting paid at Moto Concepts, like what the contract was there, because like he just did an interview, and we all know like the difference in pay with the 250 teams compared to the 450 teams with some of these guys that are like just getting rides on the 450. But he did that interview with Swap like last week, and like he went into he didn't go into big detail, but he was like, oh yeah, like when I was a star, it was 6 digits, So it's like, how much was he getting paid at Moto Concepts? And then how much, like, more of a pay cut is he taking to be on there? Because we kind of know what Joey is going through, kind of. Like, we kind of have an idea. So it's like, I don't know. I
Bet
mean,
his pay cut isn't as big as Tomac's was to go to Star.
oh, boy.
Yeah, I think Shane's definitely. I don't know that he's going to take the pay is going to be that much different. Obviously I have no idea what he was making at Moto Concepts, but I would think he's probably in the same ballpark as that.
He's got to be, in my opinion.
Which like I said, I really care. Because I haven't heard anything. I haven't talked to any, like, I don't know anybody that has any idea what. I mean, I don't really know if a lot of people know what that whole team was getting paid, because let's be real, they underperformed badly this year. But it's like, well, he had to have been the top paid guy. But
Yeah,
was he making 100K? Was he making 80? Like, I don't know. Because he definitely wasn't making as much money as he made it that year at Star.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way.
No.
So it's like,
No.
yeah, I don't know. I feel bad for Shane. Like, Travis knows this. I've been a big supporter of Shane. I think that it's very unfortunate that,
His hairline's unfortunate.
oh my God, dude. I feel bad for him because like he's
Coming from a guy who's also balding.
I have a hairline as well. So
Yeah.
he's very underrated in the sense of what he's accomplished. I know he's never won the title and he should have, and that's a different conversation. But like, I think that he has a potential to be very good on that 450, and it suits his style. But all we're going to hear about is oh, he made 2 races and then he got hurt and this, and now he's going to KTM and now he's going to be behind the 8 ball, and I don't know. I mean, it just makes me wonder, like, if he has another subpar year or he just doesn't make it through the year, like, where is he going to be at moving forward? Because we know how that Rocky Mountain team, other than Bogle, like, how their contracts kind of go. Mm-hmm. So, and Joey, like, does Joey have a ride there for next year?
Joey doesn't know.
Yeah, I know he doesn't know.
I was just
but
listening to post-race interviews from Steve, and Joey literally said, like, I don't know what I'm doing next year at this point.
And it really sucks, and once again, being a Savatgy fan and supporter, is he's been damn good the last 4 nationals. He's been building, and they even made a comment about this. I don't know I think it was GL. Like, there's been times where the last 4 nationals, other than Washougal, he's been the top performing KTM guy on the track.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, if he goes to another team and has to rebuild all over again, like, this is why his career since he's been off Cowie has gone up and down, because he never has a full year. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I hope for his sake that he stays on the team. It sucks with the pay thing, but if he just needs 2 years on a team, the same team.
Yeah.
Because like I said, even you being very critical of Joey, like, he's been good these last 4 nationals. He's been building.
Yep.
So it's like,
he's about to be the top KTM guy.
yeah, so it's like, oh, now you got to go to a different team.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Here we go again. And then it's just going to be the same cycle over and over again.
Well, speaking of different teams here, continuing on that Rocky Mountain team, Darkside, have you heard anything about this Anstey going there?
Oh, Jesus,
rumor?
I hope not.
Just the rumors, man. Like, no, the people, I haven't got any responses for anybody that I've reached out to, but I don't know a whole lot of people tight in that either of those teams anymore. The guys that I was really tight with at Rocky Mountain have left. And then, Justin Pipes, man, I didn't even ask him because I don't think he would be the type to give that information away. It's not his business. So just the rumors. I think they keep Savatgy, man. I'm just basing that off his results and his potential. I think that'd be the smart move to do, is keep Savatgy.
So are they dumping Bogle then, you think?
I don't think they'll ever dub Bogle.
Yeah, I feel like Bogle's going to be somewhere else.
Really?
I don't know where.
You think
I
so?
I don't think they're going to go 3 guys.
Look, he's going to take that Indian money and run, okay?
I mean, I completely agree as far as we know that Bogle has a lot of health issues. We know he's not been the same guy in a while. He's had moments of brilliance, and then we know that he has issues. But I just kind of figured, like, his relationship with Forrest, like, he would just be a...
Anybody can have a good relationship with Forrest if they're paying money, okay?
I know, kind of, like the Ethan Lane thing. But, man, see, here's my thing. Where would he go, though? Because I'm going to be real honest with you, and I'm not the biggest Bogle fan. Like, I feel bad for the dude, everything he's been through.
Name one team that's not like, hey, bring your money over here.
Well, what team? But see, here's the thing, though. We both know there's only so many 450 teams.
You can buy yourself a spot on any of these teams.
I completely... The factory teams?
Maybe not Honda and Kawasaki.
Yeah, he wouldn't be on a factory team. You know what team he probably need to go to? You got all that money? Go to Michael Lindsay's team. They need money.
Oh, boy. We don't want to talk about Michael Lindsay's team right now.
Yeah, I mean, but he's right. There's not that many options.
What about
There's just not very many options. This field is...
What about MCR?
What, the Arena Cross team?
No, they're going back to Supercross. Didn't you see?
No, man.
Brayton's riding for them.
Oh, yeah.
So they're coming back to Supercross. That blew my mind also, because I heard the same thing you did. They were going to Arena Cross, and then they make the announcement this week that they signed Brayton for Supercross, and it's like, you guys were leaving.
Yeah,
like,
you guys
you
were
picked
done.
up your ball. You were going home from the party.
Is Tony gone?
I don't know.
Like, that's...
It's weird.
I completely forgot about that. You're right. I read the clip of that is a little weird to me.
So maybe he goes to MCR.
Yeah.
Does Supercross only.
It could. I don't know if that team is going to have 3 or 4 riders like they have the last couple of years, though. Maybe they back it down and it's Justin and just Freezy, because Freezy's obviously been locked in.
Oh, God.
Or maybe they let Freezy go.
Where the hell's Benny going?
I'm not counting on them having 4 guys under the tent.
If they were smart, it would probably just be Brayton and maybe one other guy. Maybe 2, have Freezy as your test guy, because you can say what you want about Vince. He's a really good test guy. And then have another person, maybe Bogle. But, man, like, I don't know. I understand Bogle with the money, but, dude, he is just...
I think they're going to have 3 or 4 dudes.
That'd be the only team that would make sense.
Because I heard they're picking up a 250
deal,
God. Too, because...
Oh, boy.
What was the other team this year?
Phoenix?
No. Who did Brayton race for?
We had the Muck-Off ride.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
Muck-Off's not going to be a thing.
Well, yeah, because the guy that ran the team, like...
Yeah, Uprive is stuck in Australia.
Yeah, there's a lot of. Yeah, we're not going to go into that.
Yes.
Maybe they do a swap if Anstey goes to Rocky Mountain, he goes to Hep.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Hartranft's going to need a teammate.
That's about all their options are.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hate to say this, but I think I never want to be the guy to tell a rider when your time's up. But I think Justin really just needs to call her quits, man. Like I don't really know.
Chief Luca's never going to call it quits. All right.
I don't know.
He's here to ride, bro.
Go ahead.
He's definitely gonna keep racing if he can find a ride. I mean, but yeah, his results have not been. They haven't been high enough to really pick up a ride. I don't think. I mean, he's one of those guys that's averaging outside the top 10, and I mean, there's just better guys to pick if there's an opening.
And I don't only mean that. I mean, as far as like, I'm genuinely afraid if he smacks his dome one more time. Like,
oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
Like that's the thing with me. Like we all heard the issues. Like what was it 2 years ago? And I imagine it hasn't gotten any better. Like it probably hasn't gotten worse. But like where he was like losing his vision 20 minutes into a moto, and that's why like he was like he'd start off really strong 20 minutes in, and you just see Bogle like either off the track or back in 25th. So it's like if he smacks his dome again, like that stuff is nothing to screw with, and he's already had enough concussions as it is throughout his entire riding career. So that's what I'm afraid of. I just don't want to see him.
He's got Epstein-Barr too.
Well, yeah. I mean, everybody pretty much does at this point.
Exactly.
Like everybody does. But I mean, seriously, that's what I'm more afraid of. I don't really care about the whole results, what he's doing. I'm genuinely like, if he smacks his dome one more time, it's done. Like he's not going to be the same guy anymore. So that's what I'm more afraid of. So like at some point, I think he just needs to be like, hey, like I'm done. I won a 250 title. I've had good results. I've won 450 motos. Mm-hmm. Like people forget about that. Like the Thunder Valley, the Budds Creek. Like it's not like he hasn't accomplished anything in his career. He's had a solid career, but injuries just got the best of him. And there's no shame, in my opinion, in admitting like, hey, I just can't do this anymore. Like I want to be able to walk when I'm 50. You know.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, it's not easy for these guys to walk away, but we've seen. I mean, it sounds like Zach is about to do that, right? So, wouldn't be. I don't disagree with you, Justin. Bogle has had, those injuries have been scary, and he considered walking away a couple times. So, yeah, I think that's not out of the realm of possibility.
Well, it's like also let's not be real. The dude has got styles for days, so it's not like he can't go do the free ride thing. Like, he already likes to do all that stuff as it is. He can go do the free ride thing and make money that way. So, it's not like he has to give up riding a dirt bike. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, have you talked to our boy Zach? Is he actually retiring?
Yeah, I wanted to talk to him about this.
I mean, I have talked to him. He has definitely not given me any insight on that. So
lame.
He's not. Yeah, he's not saying, at least to me.
So, the rumor, though, is... It's RJ, right? Like that's the rumor. Like that's the rumor that I.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure like I was hearing that correctly. Like
what RJ? What is
like
going to 450?
RJ's the guy that's going to take over.
You're
Zacho.
shitting me.
Yeah,
we're going to take a dude that has not won a 250 title and give him Zacho's
oh
ride.
boy, Darkside. Travis is about to go ape shit right now.
That's what we're going to do.
That's the rumor.
I fucking quit. I'm done with Moto. That's it. You guys finish.
Zach
I cannot.
Travis just took his headset off. He's leaving. He just slammed.
We're gonna take a dude.
I mean, that could easily change if somebody comes available that they can get their hands on. But again, who's available?
So okay, so let's because this not for just my satisfaction of watching Travis just like face turn red because now it's like flipped. Usually I'm the red faced one. He's upset right now. So let's talk about that for a second. So say Zacho is done, which I'm once again it's not a Zacho guy, but it's very unfortunate, especially the fact that he didn't get to defend his title fully healthy. But like I said, being a guy who has back injuries, I know what it's like. That shit was not going away. If it is not RJ, like where would they go? Because we know like what's going on with Husky. Like Anderson's he's leaving. Let's be real. Dino, I don't know what's going on with Dino. Dino talked about retiring, but who knows? So who would it be, though? That's the thing. What 250 guy do we have right now that possibly could point out? Because I can't think of any at the top of my head.
Are they going to keep Dean, or is Dean retiring too?
Well, that's what I mean. Dean said he was going to retire, but, I mean, do you really think Husky's just going to let him go? He still brings money to that team because of his social media presence.
Because the only person I know for sure at this point that's going to be on that team that we've all heard, but they haven't announced it yet, is Mookie, right?
Well, that was the rumor.
That's the only thing solid
Yeah.
I've heard.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
So-
all right. As long as we're all on the same page with that.
So who would it be, though? I
Yep.
mean, RJ would be the only logical may not be the word, but that would only be the one that makes sense. Yeah, I understand that. As soon as I said it, I was like, that's fucking not logical at all. But who would it be, though? Like, that's really who else is left?
I don't know.
Because let's be real, there are guys that. It's actually funny that this is happening, right? Because I wanted to bring up. I guess I might as well not wait till the Bud's when we talk about what happened results. There's a privateer right now on a team that we know he can't replace Zach Osborne's shoes, but he's doing very well right now on a 450, and he rides for a Honda team. And
Cody Schock.
Cody Schock. I know that he's not Zach Osborne. He's not going to go win you a championship. He's not even going to win you races. But Cody Schock right now, in my opinion, has got to be, if he's not a hot commodity talking into next year, and I don't know either. Maybe Darkside's heard some things. I don't know if he's talking to any teams, but anybody that sit there and say right now that Cody Schock's not on your radar, they have to be lying. Like, this kid has made the biggest jump I think I've ever seen of somebody from where he started a few years ago as a turning pro to where he is now. And once again, I do understand AC's not out there, Zach's not there, Anderson's not there, Barsha wasn't there. But, dude, the last 3 nationals, he has been flying as a quote-unquote privateer. And we saw how well he did in Supercross on the 250. I mean, hell, what was it, Daytona? He was in the top, what was he, in the top 3 for, what was it, 12, 13 minutes or whatever it was, and faded back. So his Supercross skills are improving. And I know that it's not on the 450, but if you're just looking for a solid dude that's going to go out there and, you know, literally just put in laps, and, you know, I know it's cliche, but never give up, and, you know, he's not really accident, like he doesn't get injured, why not Cody Schock? Why not another dude? Because I'm going to be real honest with you. I know that Cody Schock and Dean Wilson aren't the same people, and he doesn't bring you the same flair and social media, but at this point, I would take Cody Schock over Dino any day of the week, because at least with Cody,
And twice on Sunday.
I know what you're going to get. With Dean, he's got EBV, and we know that that's not just going away anytime soon. And I know that Dino's been working his ass off, and he's been trying, and he's been doing better than I thought he would. But once again, it's only going to get worse. It ain't going to get better. So I don't know.
I don't think any of the factory teams are looking for a guy that doesn't have potential to win.
Yep.
And I think they still believe Dean could win indoors. That's starting to slip away a little bit, I think. I don't see Husky going, well, we need an extra guy.
Yeah.
Let's just pick the next best guy. I think
Yep.
that if at that point they'd be like, well, we'll just go with one guy or 2 guys. I think
Yep.
they'd be fine with that.
Yep.
So do they grab up somebody like a Colt Nichols then?
That's a good question.
I mean,
Colt's got a lot of potential.
I mean,
Yeah, I
because
don't-
you're saying like, okay, so who do you get? Well, I'm racking my brain here. Okay, who won 250 championships?
Colt would be the only other
Cooper's
one.
going to Yamaha for sure. He's going to go to Star there, because I think this is way future headlines here, but I think Dylan is leaving Yamaha after next year.
Well, KTM has been the talk with him for a while.
Yeah, I think
Right.
he's going
Yeah.
somewhere like that, either KTM or Gas or something like that.
And also, there's a huge rumor going on right now over in Europe, even though they just signed Jorge Prado, that team that he rides for, because there's a difference between the DeCarli team and the KTM team.
Oh, yeah, they're going to
gas,
one.
gas. Prado really right now does not like the vibe that's going on over there with the team. And obviously, there's been always a connection with Prado in America. There also is an outside possibility that Prado might be coming over to the States.
Well, that would be cool, but I got to see it to believe it.
Well, I understand that, but I mean, it's
Yeah.
just it's a rumor thing, and once again, we know how that goes. But if you want to play that in a couple years, what you said, long down the line with
Yeah.
Dylan, if you want to talk about that long down the line, if Prado says, "Hey, I want to come to the States, I want to go do Supercross," I'm sorry, he's going to be on a factory team before
yeah.
he ever puts laps on a Supercross track. So that's another
Right.
that's another thing.
Yeah, so I don't know. That'll be interesting. We definitely are going to have a ton of stuff to talk about here coming up after the season.
But if it is down to
Yeah,
Colt
yeah.
Nichols and RJ, though, you have to go Colt Nichols. Like,
Yeah.
I almost feel like you have to.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah, I wish his outdoors results have been better. He's struggling, man.
Yeah.
He's not having a good year.
nobody gives a shit about outdoors.
oh boy, I do. I care about
Okay,
outdoors.
I do.
I care about me and Darkside on the set. Yeah, I care about outdoors. You son of a bitch.
Well, that's good because the teams don't. So
yeah, whatever, man. Well, the teams are stupid.
the teams are the ones that
disagree.
pay at this point. So
Yeah, well, Teams are stupid. On their ass from a hole in the ground.
Okay, so one other thing, as far as like silly season, I guess ish stuff goes. Let's just touch a little bit on the amateur stuff here. So Jet Reynolds was supposed to go pro.
Oh God.
He obviously
Pulled a Jet Reynolds at Loretta's.
got hurt.
Yeah, that's going to be a biggest waste of time ever.
Yeah, and you want to know who makes out great on all of this? Honda HRC,
Yeah, because Chance Hymas.
because they signed Hymas.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is
I heard
like
that, yeah.
that is like
And
that's
Chance
like
did
the
a lot-
best move ever.
And Chance, even though he didn't win a title, like did a lot better as far as like where his speed was at Loretta's than they thought. Because like everybody just kind of thought it was going to be like a foregone conclusion. Like Levi and Kitchen obviously was, he won the titles and he was the dominant one. But like Chance, he won motos and he did better. But yeah,
Hymas is going to be better than Kitchen.
nah, I don't agree with that at all.
Stop.
No.
Stop right there.
No.
Stop. Shut your mouth. You sound stupid.
No, Hymas
you
is-
sound stupid. How
Hymas-
old is Hymas?
He's 17, 16 or 17.
How old is Kitchen?
20.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean anything.
Same thing with Jet.
No.
Jet is 17 years old,
Well,
winning supercrosses and outdoors.
Yeah, but Hymas-
Kitchen is 20, getting 10th place.
Hymas isn't Jet Lawrence though. Chance Hymas.
Hymas is riding like 2 years ahead of where he should be.
No.
Yes.
No. Because
Yes.
he was a top kid his last year.
I don't think Hymas is 17. I think he's only 16.
he might be 16, turning 17.
He's
but
he's at least AMA 16.
yeah, but he's not 2 years away ahead of it, and I know and I know this because I've been watching Hymas for a long time.
What class was Kitchen racing when he was AMA 16?
Kitchen? Oh, I don't even, dude. I don't
B
even.
class.
No, he wasn't.
B class.
He wasn't even at amateur nationals when he was 16.
Yeah, exactly my point.
He wasn't. He didn't start taking motocross seriously until 2 years ago.
Exactly my point.
He was literally riding at like Washougal with Carson Brown.
This is why
But no.
Jet Lawrence and Hymas are going to be better than Levi Kitchen.
Well, Jet Lawrence is already Jet
Look,
Lawrence.
me and DB are on the same page. All right, do I need to call him?
I will give you this. Chance Hymas is going to have a very, very good career, and it does help that he's younger, but I don't think he's going to be better than that.
If
Because
you want to make a long-term bet, I'll bet you $500 Hymas's career is better than Kitchen's.
I think you're only basing that off of because numbers-wise, it's going to be longer.
What?
Because he's younger. So Kitchen is probably going to retire quicker.
No, we can do it. When Kitchen retires, we'll do it off the same amount of years.
No. I would love to agree with you because I'm a Honda guy and I want to see. And Chance is going to have a really good career, but Chance has been more on people's radar for longer than Levi Kitchen has because Chance has actually been taking motocross seriously since he was on 65s. When he was on 65s,
Chance is way better at the age of 16 than Kitchen ever
because
was.
he raced amateur nationals. Kitchen didn't race amateur nationals at 16.
I mean,
they
you're
literally
not
came to
helping your
Red.
point here
They
at
came
all.
to Redbud
Dar-
on
Dar-
65s from California
All right,
for the
stop
national.
talking. Darkside, tell him he's wrong.
Oh boy.
Man, I wish I could weigh in on this. I am not willing to. Man, I just don't until I see them in the pros. Like I just am not ready to jump in. But from what I've seen out of Levi and the fact that he's only taken it serious for the last couple of years, like he told us that Tuesday night that he just didn't really care, and then he decided once he started having to work like a real job, he was like, "Oh, I don't want to do this." So
Don't
he
blame him.
decided I want to put everything I have into it. How far he's come in those couple of years and how good he got, I think that he's still, even though he may be a little older, you were saying like 20, he's still learning. He's still getting better. So I think he's still in the beginning stages of. We haven't seen his best yet.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I'm a big Levi Kitchen. I like Chance Hymas as well. I'm just a huge Levi Kitchen supporter. I think that he's going to do great things. I actually think, other than Jet Reynolds, I think a lot of these kids, like Preston Kilroy, is doing a lot better than I thought. He's going to have a good.
He is.
I mean, Dylan Schwartz, once again, I've been on the Schwartz bandwagon for a long time. I think he deserves a factory 250 ride. Jet Reynolds, I'm not going to be on board with that. I think that that's just the kid gets hurt way too much. I think that Yamaha with Nick Romano is going to be really good. I think Matt LeBlanc, who didn't even get to race this year because he got hurt, is going to be very, very good. So we're going to have very, very good kids. It's just hard to base them because Jet Lawrence has just been fucking phenomenal. So it's like it's not really fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so. I'm a little bit on Mathis's opinion of this. Like, you don't really know what you got till you get into the pros.
Yep.
So it's really like it's just all guesswork right now. I mean, like, I don't think Jet Reynolds is going to become what they thought he would, right? It doesn't look that way. But maybe he does. I just don't know. I have high hopes for my boy Ryder D, but that's still a few years off.
Well, I was just about to say that. I think Ryder D is going to have 10 times the career that Jet Reynolds is going to have.
Yeah, nothing against Jet, but I hope so because Ryder's one of my favorite kids, man, coming up. I love that kid.
He's had a lot of pressure on him for a long time, and I think that he delivered. I mean, obviously he delivered on minis his entire career, but like he did very well early on that 250, and like it just sucks that he got hurt. I don't really. Oh God, I don't know. I know that they've invested so much money in Jet Reynolds, but I hate talking about kids like this because like a lot of people got to remember they still are kids, and it's like we're grown ass men and we're like talking down about kids. But Jet Reynolds, man, he's gotten hurt the last 2 years at Loretta's. Like 2 years in a row, he has not finished the week. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if that he just rode the minis too long. And I
want to get Coach Rob on the phone. He'll tell you what it is.
Oh, I know. I mean, I haven't heard Coach's take, but I know. Like, yeah, he would be very critical of it. I think that they kept him on super minis way too long. I'll be real honest with you. Because the thing is, too, is you look at him, and I know he's still young, but he's kind of a twig. Mm-hmm. He's not, like, once again, I understand he's not going to go into his man body for a long time, but, dude, you look at him, though, and you look at Ryder D, and I understand that he still probably has quite a few pounds on Ryder D, but Ryder D looks like the kid has more muscle than Jet Reynolds does. Mm-hmm. And that is not, like, what? Ryder's, like, 2 years younger than him? Maybe 3?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's young. He's quite a bit younger. 2. Yeah, so, like, that's got to be the issue. That's the issue.
Does anyone on this call think that Jet's going to do anything? Jet Reynolds?
No, I think that he'll have probably like he'll come out with a bang when he goes Supercross because he's ridden Supercross for a long time, and then like halfway into the season he's going to realize it's really fucking hard to ride professional Supercross.
Darkside opinion?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be a guy that wins championships. He may be a guy that's top 5, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, somebody's got to be in that spot. But I don't see him being a dominant threat.
And that's really hard, too, considering Seth Hammaker won a race his rookie year.
Yeah.
So that's not it's not really great. You know, and once again, we haven't even seen Jet yet. Mm-hmm. So, like, who knows? Are we going to obviously Supercross, but it's like, okay, is he riding right now? Is he going to be riding Supercross? We know we'll probably put him on the East Coast. And we know that the stuff that's going on at Pro Circuit right now, but it's like, okay, so you got McAdoo, you got Seth, you got Joe. I mean, dude, so you got Joe, who is killing. I mean, he's had some up and downs the last couple races, but
killing barrels with his hand.
Yeah, had a very good outdoor season. Did really well at the end of Supercross. Got a win. McAdoo, who was fighting for the title, you know, Seth won a race, and we don't know what's going on with Smitty. We won't even get into talk about.
Here's some fun silly season. What the hell is going to happen with Jordan Smith? Because he's not going back to Pro Circuit.
No, I don't.
That contract's been torn up, burned, thrown to the pits of hell. Mitch is like, I don't even know who the fuck you are. Quit talking to me.
You do know.
Don't look at me.
You do know that Jordan's going to end up on another Factory 250 team though somewhere.
And I'm going to rant for hours.
Yeah,
about
I know.
it.
He's but you seriously. It also he's going to end up on another Factory team, right?
Probably
Husky. No, I don't know. I'd actually go more gas than Husky.
Gas. No.
Why?
Gas is going with the same 3 dudes they have this year.
That's a terrible idea.
Yeah,
that's it.
Oh,
I think they need another guy though.
For what? For 450?
Well, yeah, or just another guy.
Mm-mm. Won't happen. Barsha told him he wants to be the only guy on that team.
Well, fine, but I think they need maybe another 250 guy then, because Mosman and Pierce get hurt a lot.
Well, that is the thing. I mean, dude, how bad of a look was it this weekend? The whole team is just not there. Thank God for Ty Masterpool.
They had another guy.
Yeah, they did. Ty Masterpool flying the flag.
Yeah, well, we don't even want to talk about Jerry.
Oh God.
I don't know, but I'm just saying though, he's going to end up on a Factory team. I don't know where, but he's going to. Like, it's going to happen.
Just keep an ear out for that rant, because as soon as I find that out, I'm going to start cussing and swearing.
Well, I'm going to be super pissed that if he ends up on a Factory team and my boy's sitting in California right now without a ride. That
oh my God, would you just say his name, Mitchell Harrison?
That everybody knows. Everybody knows.
So
doesn't have a ride. It's super frustrating right now.
Yes,
super frustrating.
Yes. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about some Budds Creek here. Darkside.
Yeah.
You want to go with 450s? You want to go with 450s or 250s?
450s.
Okay. The Dillon Danger Zone is the real fucking deal.
Hell yeah, it is. If Weed says it, it's real.
Dude, it's real. I want to get shirts made.
Oh, yeah.
I have great ideas.
We got to get a hold of his marketing team and be like, hey.
We got to try to find him when we're at the race
Ironman
this
next
weekend.
week. Yeah.
So Yeah, because that was wild yesterday. He was tracking down Kenny that first moto too.
By the way, now that we're talking about this, it kind of really has nothing to do with the Dylan Danger Zone.
Oh God,
Did both
let's
of you,
get off topic here. Okay,
no,
cool.
it's about Dylan. Did you guys see he quadded the uphill?
I did see that.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
That was wild.
Well,
that was big.
When I kept watching him, I'm like, he kept mistiming it. He kept landing in the pocket, and then he bounced off the face into the anthill. And I'm thinking, okay, I've been to Budds Creek quite a few times, and I know that that's gnarly to do that, especially the fact that like the middle is so much more lipped up, so you're going in blind when you land up there. But then when I saw it, I had to replay it back because I didn't get to watch the motos till later, and I saw him do it, and obviously they were cutting away, and I'm like, no way did he just huck that quad. I had to replay it back, and I was like, sure shit. So I was looking for him to do it, and obviously he was catching Kenny, and he was trying to.
He did it in practice. There was a video of him doing it in practice.
I didn't get to watch practice and stuff, but still though, the fact that he did it the second moto, how rutted the face was getting, and the fact that he was pushing in race pace, because like a jump like that, that's really only something you do when nobody's around you, you're sizing it up. You don't really do it during, especially when he's tracking down Kenny.
Yep.
And then I'm like, holy shit, because that's a hook. Like that is a hook. So I was just wondering if anybody else saw that because that was gnarly.
Yeah, that was big. So
yeah, I saw it today just on social media. I didn't catch it during the race, but I've seen a bunch of video of it today.
Yeah. I mean, does anyone think he's not winning this title? It's like they say, when it's your year, it's your year, and it's his year.
Dude, it's not even close.
Yeah, he's locked in as long as something just absolutely insane doesn't happen and he gets hurt.
The funny thing, though, is remember us talking about on our fantasy show how we both kind of agreed, oh, yeah, he's going to lay back. He's like doing this title. Like, he doesn't need to win.
I totally thought first moto he was doing that.
But then the thing, though, is I think after I got off that call, though, I kind of realized, why the fuck did we just say that? This is Dylan Ferendis. He doesn't do anything half-assed. Yeah. Like, that was dumb for us to say that.
Then he turned the afterburners on there, the first moto, and it was like, oh, shit.
Well, the funny thing was, too, is like the second moto, I'm wondering how many people, like, when Chase passed him, and then Eli started closing up on his rear wheel, people were thinking, oh, he just doesn't have it, the moto, or whatever, like, the pace is low. And I'm thinking, dude, this is just who Dylan has been his entire career. Like, he feels out the first 15 minutes, gets an idea what the race pace is. It's like there was no point in my mind where I'm going, oh, yeah, he's just going to get third this moto. Like, one more lap, he would have won the first moto.
Yeah.
Or a one-place better start, he would have won the first moto.
Shit, a couple more turns, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
He was pissed, too, after that first one.
Oh, yeah, he was not having it. Like, obviously, he wasn't being disrespectful towards Kenny, but he was like, and see, you know what, though? And I'm a Dylan guy. I love that, though. And I didn't get to talk about this after because I wasn't on the unit. I love his honesty. Like, it's about damn time we have a guy that goes up there. Yeah, I don't have it. Like, Unadilla, like, giving praise to Kenny. Yeah, I don't have it. Kenny's just, I don't know what, I can't beat him today. When is the last time we've ever heard a guy, like, straight up just admit, oh, I'm just not fast enough today? They'd be like, no, the bike's doing this. I'm not feeling it. Dylan's like, no, Kenny's just better today. Uh-huh. Like, I love that about him. Yep. And I know people get on him because he talks too much on the podium, but that's just who he is. Like, I don't know. I just really appreciate that. In the times that we have robotic guys on the podium, Dylan being honest, I think it's cool.
Oh, yeah, I have tons of respect for him. I texted him yesterday afterwards to say, hey, great ride, and I said, man, I try not to have favorites, but your passion and the way you are on the mic, everything that you're doing, you're starting to change me not having a favorite because I just get so excited watching you ride and how you react and your respect for Kenny and your respect for Eli. It's really unprecedented almost. Yep. We don't hear a lot of that. Maybe AC every once in a while.
Yeah.
Or, back in the day, like Travis Pastrana would be like, holy crap, you see how fast he was?
Yep.
Yeah.
But other than that, we don't get that from those top level guys hardly ever because most of the time they see it as a weakness to give any credit to somebody else or whatever. And Dylan doesn't. He sees it as a goal to be as good and as competitive as Kenny and Eli have been, and he sees it as a challenge, even if he comes out of the gate farther back to catch them. And I think he's going to be around for a while. I'm waiting for a while.
Do you guys think that he's slowly starting to win the American fans over?
Yes.
Travis?
Oh, yeah.
Have you noticed how, like, he's got some of the biggest pops now on the podium with the fans?
Yeah.
But because we obviously know the Christian Craig thing. And I kind of thought that would go on because it's always been us versus the French people. And, we obviously have a long history dating back to JMB and obviously DV and Rancada and Pichon, so on and so forth. And I feel like he's kind of got, other than obviously when AC's up there, I almost feel like Dylan now is getting kind of the biggest pops when he's on the podium. And I think, to your point, Darkside, like he is, with his passion and his honesty and just obviously the way he rides, I think that people are like, even if you have this us versus Euro thing, I think even the casual fan can appreciate that.
Oh yeah, definitely, and I think some of that ignorance almost is going away. I mean, like, why do you guys think it is like we have a problem with the French riders as a whole, not like we as in you and I or whatever?
Yeah.
But then like Kenny's fine, Grant Langston's fine. Why is it the French? I don't get it.
Well, you see, the problem is
Oh,
the
boy.
French.
Oh, boy.
During these world wars,
Oh, God.
they like to come in. They like to
Jesus.
get pecker smacked, and then we have to come in and save the day.
All right, so let me...
So we got a bad distaste, and then on top of that, they can't even do us the common courtesy of wearing deodorant when we're over there, so it smells bad. It's a whole thing.
Oh,
you know?
let me give you an educated answer. If I'm going to be...
That was all a joke, by the way.
Yes,
I mean,
everybody
we
that-
did come in and save their ass in World War II. You're welcome. But outside of that, the rest of it is just a joke.
I mean, yeah, I'm going to be real honest with you, though. Like, that is a good question that doesn't get talked about enough. I think that if you look over the last, I don't know, I want to say 30-plus years of American motocross and supercross, other than Kenny, the French have probably given us the most issues as far as our top guys because, once again, JMB, David Villeman, Stefan Roncada, Sebastian Tortelli, Mikel Pichon, Christophe Pourcel, Marvin Muscan.
Porcel's an asshole.
But he still he still waxed
wasn't that he was French.
Well,
You're
he was
just an asshole.
But he still waxed our guys' ass, and he was better than our guys.
That's fine. But if you're an asshole, then we're still not going to like you.
I understand that completely, and I don't disagree whatsoever. And now Dylan Ferrandis. Like, I think that it's just because if you look over time, other than take Kenny and GL out of it, the French have had the best results against Americans in our own series. Because, like, all those names I just named, they've all won championships. They've all been the biggest threats. Like I said, you go back to JMB, you talk about biggest threat to Jeff Stanton and Damon Bradshaw. Mikel Pichon, same thing. Biggest threat to Jeff Emig. DV and Roncada. I mean, take Carmichael out of it because nobody was ever a threat to him. But, like, same biggest threats to, like, McGrath at points. Porcel beating Kennard and Dungy and Marv.
DV is just raw. That's why people don't like him because he's raw and he'll just say how he feels.
People are a bunch of
look at that
pussies
look
because they can't take the honesty.
Look at him going off on Rutledge Wood on Pulp. I mean, it's fine.
But I mean, if you really think about it, though, I think that's the only conclusion I could come to is that they've just been our biggest threat.
Sure.
When other than Kenny and GL, like that's really it. They've been, and I mean, I guess you could say Chad. They've been the biggest threat to our best guys, maybe, I guess. I mean, that's the only thing I can come up with to answer your question.
Yeah, there could be some of that. And, of course, with Dylan, he had the issue with Christian Craig and a few other issues when he first came over with the super aggressive riding.
Yes.
I think
Loved it.
Even, DV said on Pulp the other night that he was a turd when he was younger. Like, as a kid, he was just a turd. maybe over the last couple of years, he's adjusted his personality. He's seen, the reactions. He's seen that. He's kind of witnessed that or felt it, and maybe he's made a conscious effort. I know his wife has said that he's made an extremely conscious effort to
I like his wife.
Try to talk more, as far as to the media, because he didn't do any podcasts. He's been very insecure about his grasp of the English language.
Yes,
and he's been working on it. So maybe it's just growth, right? Personal maturity, and as he's shown, as he's talked more, people realize, okay, he's just a fan of the sport. He grew up loving, certain riders, and he grew up loving the sport and wanted to come over here. So I think getting to see his personality is a big part of what shifted the gears. And I think some of that has to be given to all the podcasts or all the media sources where he has a chance to be himself a little bit. I think for me, that's a big part of it. I don't know that I would have been a huge fan of his had I not sat down and talked to him multiple times at races and realized he's pretty cool, man. He's funny. His wife's awesome. She's sweet. And that's what it is for me. That's what I like about writers generally now that I'm doing this is getting to know them. Their writing is their writing, but getting to know them and their personalities is what wins me over more so now than the writing. That's just me, maybe.
Oh yeah, I remember watching Dylan like as a teenager when he was on the Bud Cowie team when he was still over in before he went to the GPs, and even like to the French media, he would rarely ever do interviews. And obviously over there they're speaking French. He would rarely ever do interviews because like I think that he was never an on camera guy. Like he rode and that was his thing. Like he didn't want to do the other stuff.
Look, some of us just have a face for radio, all right? Totally fine.
Yeah, true.
No problem. So, what are you talking about, bro? You got the pony. Like, you're ready to rock and roll, buddy. At all times, you're ready to go. You have a face for TV.
Darkside's got it going on.
I don't know that I agree with you, but I'll take the compliment. Thanks.
Hey, it's all right. Speaking of which, you out flying that pony somewhere at like a concert sometime soon, or what, dude?
Dude, yeah. Not this last Friday, but the Friday before, I went to a show in Dallas.
Sick.
We rocked out. I went
Sick.
live on Instagram a couple times. We had a nice little metal show going on down in Dallas. It was great.
Awesome.
So you mean you weren't at Lollapalooza a couple weeks ago?
No, I was not. I was just at a club in Dallas.
Whatever. It's fine. Close enough. Lollapalooza. Club in
It
Dallas.
was good, dude. It was
Same
good to
thing.
be out with 400 or 500 people in a club, and freaking there was a little mosh pit going on. I'm too old for that shit, but I was right on the edge of it and throwing the horns up. So yeah, we had a good time,
Sick.
man. I love going to see some music. I hope it doesn't go away.
Oh God, I was just
in the
about
next
to
few
say
months.
that. I was just about to say that.
Well, Texas is still pretty wide open, right?
Well, Texas does what they want.
Yeah.
For the most part, yeah. I was told by Amber told me last night we were talking. She's like, "Hey, some of the restaurants here in town are going back to requiring masks."
Well, guess where I would not be eating then are those restaurants.
Yeah, I just hope it doesn't go to a whole thing where everybody's doing it. So yeah, but
We won't get
as far as concerts go, man, I have tickets for a comedy show coming up in a couple months.
Is it Joe Rogan?
No, it's not Rogan. It's a guy, Pete Corielli. He does a podcast with Sebastian Maniscalco, who's a big comedian.
That guy's awesome.
And I've known Pete for 15 years. He used to do a show with Jim Brewer, and I'm a big Pete Corielli fan. So he's coming to Dallas in a few months. I'm going to go see him. And then Skid Row, man, I know that's 80s, but they're about to hit the road. And I've sort of become acquaintances with the bass player, Rachel Boland. So I definitely want to go see those guys if they come through. So got some bucket list stuff for the year, hopefully.
I want to go to the concert and the Lovers and Friends thing in Vegas next year. All the old R&B people from when I was growing up.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Dude,
there
it's
you go.
awesome. Yeah.
All right.
I need to go to a
It's
show.
outside my wheelhouse. But
Darkside
better
will
than
go,
country.
Darkside will go, bro.
Look, I'll go to a country concert. I went to enough rock concerts, punk concerts back in the day. I'd love to go to a comedy show. I'd actually, speaking of Texas stuff, I'd love to go to a Kill Tony taping that Tony Hinchcliffe and Joe Rogan do. I'd love to go to that. So yeah, no, I'm all about it.
We are way off the rails.
I know, but that's just what
Yeah,
we do
are.
on the show, man. That's what we do on the
I
show.
know. We just talk.
Hey, would you guys have guessed that Eli Tomac is a Metallica fan? Would you if I had asked you, do you think Eli is a Metallica fan? What would your answers be?
I think to answer that, I think that if I didn't know Eli like at all outside of racing, I'd be like, no way. But like, kind of having kind of knowing what he was as a kid.
That's a tough question because he's hard to read. Like,
That's
if
what
you
I
don't
mean.
know him outside of racing, he's tough to read.
Yeah.
Just looking at podium interviews and stuff like that, you're just like, the hell is this guy even into?
But then you got to think about think about the things he talks about, like what he does in his spare time. He hunts. He, likes to drive fast cars.
Maybe just likes Beethoven. and
I was
Bach,
actually listening to some Mozart earlier today.
some shit like that. Yeah. I don't know.
It's nice. Anyways,
Well, he surprised me, man. I was doing some personality questions with him, and I was like, "What's the best Metallica album?" Thinking he would not know any, and he threw out like 3 or 4, and I was like, "Whoa!"
that just
Attaboy.
reminds me of something I saw in a comedy thing where like people wear like Pink Floyd shirts, and then you get the people. It's like a meme, like name 3 Pink Floyd songs, and then you come up with them and like name 3 more.
Oh God,
Right.
I do that with my girlfriend
Yeah.
because she's just gotten into wearing like band T-shirts
Yeah.
recently. What did she have on the first? Oh, Journey. I was like, you don't even know fucking Journey's song. And she was like, she threw something out.
She say wheel in the sky?
I don't remember. I was like, say another one.
Say another one.
She couldn't come up with another one, by the way.
Oh, God, I love it.
Got her.
No,
So-
but that's
It's just cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I guess if I didn't know who Eli was outside of racing, like I'd be like, probably no way. But that honestly doesn't surprise me, especially kind of like with the way his dad is. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty cool though.
Dude,
I mean,
Darkside, can we get you on NBC asking these guys questions like other than how did you meet your girlfriend? What's the stupidest thing you ever
Jesus,
fucking
that is
bought
the
her?
most annoying thing.
Like-
I hate that segment.
Asking Eli Tomac to name 3 Metallica songs or whatever, or best Metallica album. Like, that's a way
those
better
questions
question.
are so stupid though. How did you meet your girlfriend? How'd you meet your wife? What's the
How
first
did
thing
you meet
bought?
your girlfriend? Well, see, I'm a pro dirt bike rider, so the bitches flock.
Track snacks.
I make them wet. All
Although-
right, super
Oh,
easy.
Boy.
man.
Although I will say, even though I'm not a fan of this kid, I will say that Jalik Swole's one was the funniest because he did the cocky thing, and then like people legit like, is this dude like narcissistic? And I'm like, no, he was being funny. Like he actually isn't like that.
I mean, there's actually like a couple good answers in a couple of those, but
No, I
most
think
of
they're
them,
all
I'm
dumb.
just like, dude, this is so stupid. Well, like Plessinger, but some of that has to do with it's Plessinger anyway. Like,
It's just who he
what
is.
would you be if you weren't this? A diesel mechanic? Okay, all right.
And then be like, yeah, I could see that.
yeah, and then what's the best thing you ever bought your wife? Well, I bought her this M&M dispenser.
And what would you be doing? Or what's
Yeah.
your favorite sport other than racing? Well, NASCAR.
Yeah.
Aaron, I don't think you watch
My
NASCAR.
only issue with that, I don't mind the segment. I mind that they play it 5 times
Oh, my
every
God.
single mode. Like, you got to, if you're going to have content like that as filler, you need more of it or something, so that we're not hearing it literally 3 and 4 times per race.
Yeah, I mean, there's how many factory dudes?
Now, I mean, how-
What, 20, 30?
Yeah.
So why can we not
Yeah.
have, we got 24 motos, so say 48 in total. Why can't you find some of these upstart privateers
I was about
too,
to say, like, they'll give
and
you an
get
actual
48 fucking dudes to do it, so we watch a different one every time.
Yeah.
and they'll give you like a
Dude, that-
real straight up answer
Yeah.
too.
That's what I have said. I've been saying, like, I wish Supercross would do, as far instead of, like, I personally did not mind Naked to Mud. I know a lot of people did, as long as it's a female that actually rides moto. I didn't really
Yeah.
care for the ones that didn't ride or whatever. But like, I think better segments would be Privateer Profile, sort of like Steve's Privateer Island.
Yeah.
Let us get to know. Let the general fans that barely watch get to know the same thing we know about Alex Ray and Adam X Knapp, and Cody Schock and whoever. I mean, you can name one, right? Travis Delnicki. Those guys, like, they didn't get no coverage, so nobody cares how they do.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
let us get to know these guys. You can take 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and give a quick introduction to the guy, what he does, and maybe tell the story of, I actually, like Ben LeMay a couple years, right? I sling Monster for to stores during the week, and then I go do this. Like that. People don't know that.
Yep.
The average fan does not know that.
Yeah, ask Ryan Surratt what he bought his girlfriend. Well, you see, I got to pay to get to the races, so I bought her a Snickers bar.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I mean, I fully agree with that. Like, especially during, say, Supercross, okay? Outdoors here, we're having these question things. Okay, cool. You should have a list of 48 guys. Should not be that hard to get, 20 privateer guys to sit down for 5 minutes and give these answers, and you can throw their fucking Instagram handle on the screen as you're doing it, and then
Yep.
that way they can pick up some followers or whatever.
Instead of the same people over
Instead
and
of
over
the same
again.
like, I don't need to watch Max Anstey tell me about his wife and all this bullshit
Yeah, and the same thing.
27 times during outdoors.
It's also the same thing. Like, don't get me wrong. Anytime Kenny's talking, I like to hear what he has to say. But we kind of all know what Kenny does and
Yeah.
like what he's into. I don't really need to see Kenny on the screen 10,000 times.
Well, and then just like you were just saying, like with Supercross, Darkside, like, okay, cool. We have time there between LCQs and mains, correct? We've seen it with the Makeup to Mud and stuff. How long is that segment? 5 minutes? Why
5 to
can we
10.
not
Oh,
have
yeah.
why can we not have a 5-minute YouTube vlog from these privateers that you guys go out and film and help them do? Show these people what these dudes are doing to get to the race. Show these people that these dudes are sleeping in their vans, driving their vans
Sleeping in
back
Walmart
and forth
parking
across
lots.
the country, like working on their bikes in Walmart parking lots, like all this shit like that. Let's see that. You can make a 5-minute YouTube video. We've all watched them, and boom, you just throw it on TV. I mean, look at what they're doing right now with the what is it, the weed show before to start practice there for the first 15 minutes. He makes a 15-minute show. He walks around
and
the
it
pits,
transitions
it's
right
raw, transitions right into practice. Like it's
like
fucking perfect.
The best segment I've seen that they've done since outdoor started was when it was part of the weed show at Washougal when he went back there and was talking about with Sipes about, oh yeah, I was working on my bike in the back of the that coffee shop. Yeah, because I just did. I did. What is it? The event they always have out in
PRI or
PRI. No, you're all right. Portland International Raceway at Portland.
PIR.
He was there. He was always there. He's like, I had to work on my bike because I don't know who slammed into.
There?
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh.
Yep. Now I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry.
So to me, that was the best segment they'd done yet because it was like, oh, that was pretty in depth and like he got into it with, and I can't remember who it was. So he got into it with somebody in the first turn at Portland International. He's like, I had to work on my bike because so and so ran me wide in the first turn. That was a cool interview. Like that was worth it. But no, I don't need to see the same stuff over and over again. I don't need to hear about Joe like you play golf and you like I don't need to hear about that. Like I don't care. I heard it once. That's cool.
I hear another pro rider tell me that if they weren't racing, they were going to be a pro golfer. I'm going to punch someone with a golf club.
Yeah, that golf segment is so dumb. It's so dumb.
Man,
Y'all suck.
I'm blown away. We've been talking about that a lot lately. How many people are into golf all of a sudden?
Dude, it's ridiculous. I didn't know there were that many people that like golf in the moto industry, but apparently it's everyone.
Well, and I think it's funny, too, that they all kind of agree. And it's the competitive nature. Like, if I wasn't doing this, I'd be, like, doing that. And I'd be like, what makes you think that you'd be good at golf, like, a pro golfer?
Right.
Yeah.
Or, like, one of them, I can't remember who it was because, obviously, like, the big thing is with Drive to Survive in Formula One. Oh, yeah, maybe going down to Formula One. The chances of you being a professional Formula One driver if you weren't racing motocross.
How many billion people are there? And it's 20 out of 8
little
billion
delusional,
people.
huh?
I hate to break it to you, but it's like 0.5%.
If I wasn't working for the city that I do now, I'd probably be like the star quarterback for the 49ers.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah. And if I wasn't doing this, I'd be the owner of Amazon.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Hey, going back to the privateer stuff, though, just for a minute that we were talking about, how cool would it be for, a husband and wife that picks up Supercross one night to check out, and Mason Kerr, there's a privateer profile of Mason Kerr, and he's like, maybe they ask him the same thing. How'd you meet your girlfriend? Oh, I met her, blah, blah, blah. She's my mechanic.
That'd be awesome.
She's your mechanic? Yeah, she's the one down here, helping me with the pit board. That'd be, I would think my chick or maybe somebody else's chick would be like, oh, wow, that his girlfriend, his fiance, whatever, is down there on the track giving him pit signs. She's part of the program. I don't know. I just think that I like the outside stuff like that, but I don't want to just hear about Eli and Kenny all the time. Like you guys said, I want to hear about everybody. I just think there's so many interesting stories throughout our industry, just like in any walk of life. There's a lot of different stories that we don't get to hear about, and I think they could do a better job.
You know what would have been perfect for that, piggybacking off what Darkside just said? Matthias Jorgensen. His story with his girl, they would have been the perfect people.
Oh, yeah.
They would have been the perfect people to have on there.
Bobby Piazza.
We're wearing the Bobby Piazza shirts right now. Bobby Piazza and his girlfriend, same thing going on. They're going to races in the back of the Sprinter van. I don't know. I understand people don't know who these privateers are, but it's because of this. They don't know who they are.
Yeah.
We don't shed enough light on them. And, Cody Shockskin, he gets the press. And, Ryan Surratt's on TV every now and then. And, they talked about Jacob Runkles a little bit because he was a local boy at Budds Creek and A-Ray and all them. But it's like, dude, there's so many more guys out there. Like, right now, I guess if we want to transition back into talking about the race a little bit, Tyler Stepek. He had the best. I mean, the second moto didn't go well because I don't know if he went down or had bike problems. But he was running 12th. He had his best finish he's ever had at Unadilla. I think he went 13-15 or 14-16. Dude, the average fan has no idea who Tyler Stepek is other than the people that are around racing. And it's like, dude, get a kid like that story out there. That's amazing. Right now, the privateers, and I understand it's because the field is depleting. But, dude, to see that many privateer 450 guys inside the top 10 to 20 yesterday was absolutely amazing. Like I said, you had Chiz, you had Jacob Runkles, you had, I guess if you want to call Rod Bell technically a privateer, Rod Bell was in there. You had Runkles, like I said, Surratt was in there, Tyler Stepek was in there. All these dudes were in there, and that was amazing. And not one of them really got talked about.
Nope.
Other than Cody Schock. Yeah. And I understand because Cody Schock was doing the best. And that second moto
was doing well, yeah.
That second moto was phenomenal. He came from 38th to whatever he ended up finishing yesterday. But it bums me out.
How many of those guys do you think Langston knows? Because I think Weege knows a lot of them, but I think he can't necessarily talk about them because of being in the booth with someone else who, and I don't know with Langston. Like, I'm not on here trying to call him out and say he's a fucking dumbass or anything like that for not knowing these dudes. I don't honestly know. I'm like, that's serious. Darkside, do you know? Does he get around the pits? Does he know a bunch of these dudes, or is he just kind of oblivious?
Yeah, every national I've been to, I see Grant walking around before and after the races, and he talking to different riders. Now, he probably doesn't know all of them.
Okay.
But I bet he knows a little bit about a lot of them. I would be very surprised if he didn't.
Okay.
Like, Steepak would be the only one that I would probably question. They probably don't know too much about because he's still fairly new. But, like, yeah, they obviously Surratt and Chiz, but, like, yeah, Runkles and stuff. Runkles has been doing nationals for a long time.
Yeah.
Like I said, Steepak would probably be the only one that you'd be like, well, I don't really know too much about. But, yeah, I would probably have to. And plus, a lot of those dudes, when they're out in California, they probably visit his shop to get parts at some point or another. So I would assume that, like, he probably knows a lot of them. I would actually probably say that he probably knows more about them than Weege does. Just because, like, it's a racer to racer type thing. Like, hey, good job. But
I don't know. You just don't ever hear anything about him necessarily. So, like I said, it was a legitimate question. Like, you hear shit about Ricky. Like, Ricky does not go into the pits. He doesn't talk to people really. Like, doesn't know anything.
Doesn't surprise me. Anyways.
Yeah. So, Darkside, I know you said you had like 45 minutes to an hour. You got some more time, or you need to bail out?
Yeah, we can keep going. We got a little bit more time.
All right, let's getting back to the actual racing. So, it was supposedly pretty hot there at Budds Creek yesterday. We don't know. We weren't there, but
humid always.
Kenny didn't melt. That was impressive. I mean, and he won that first moto, second moto. Like, I would say that's a pretty good day and a pretty good testament for where Kenny is at.
He's back. I mean, obviously not pre-injury.
I was completely wrong at the beginning of the season. That's for sure.
I think we all were.
He has done, I think, what he needs to do. I think he's answered a lot of the questions. Now, look, this summer has not been as hot as in years past.
Nope.
But he going into the beginning of the season, I said 2 races and he's out. So
there was a lot of us who weren't alone.
Yeah, we said the same thing.
Yeah, so I think, and he's been competitive. He showed no signs of weakness, in my opinion, yesterday. So I think he's good, man.
Can we talk about Tomac for just a minute? I mean, I feel like we do beat a dead horse because nobody really knows. But, like, really, Unadilla was just an absolute, like, just pathetic for Eli Tomac standards. The first moto, he got dropped. And then the second moto, like, I'm gonna show up now. And I understand that we've done this with Eli for how many years now, but I do not understand it.
Would you like to know why?
I mean, there's probably been a million different answers.
Okay, well, we've seen this for years, okay? But let's talk about why now. The track came around to the suspension that he has.
Well, yeah, and that's a thing too, but my point is why I'll never, in all the years that I've been around this sport and doing this, like, I've never seen a guy at his level that's a light switch like that. The greats they don't vary that much from moto to moto. It doesn't matter if the track's a highway or
it's a Team Kawasaki problem.
I like I said, I don't understand it with him. Like, I don't get it. And I've always said Eli on the mental side, it's iffy sometimes. And I know that some people are like, well, so-and-so, but that's just my opinion. Fucking could be wrong. Mm-hmm. But it's like, I don't get it, because the first moto, he just absolutely got dropped. Mm-hmm. Like, he was there for like 3 or 4 laps, and then it was just Dylan and Chase and all them. They dropped him. But the second moto, I
had a note that said Eli was coming.
I mean, I'll ask you guys both this. In my opinion, there was no point that I was thinking, oh, he's going to beat Dylan. But I'm going to be real honest with you, though.
You didn't?
No, I didn't.
Wasn't it the second moto that Chase passed Dylan too, right?
No, yeah. Dylan passed him to Chase. I didn't think that Eli was going to win that moto, because I was just like, Dylan is doing what Dylan does. He's on one right now, and I just don't think Eli's level is at Dylan's level right now at this point when they're at that, other than the Southwick second moto. But did either of you guys, I thought he was at least going to get Kenny, right? Did you guys both think that?
I did.
I thought at one point he was coming. I thought he was going to the front. Yeah.
And I know he got into lappers those last 2 laps, but he dropped. He didn't drop anchor, but it was 6-7 seconds between him and Kenny.
It went from he was on the move to he was not on the move.
So, and I like I said, I know that lappers yesterday, because that track was gnarly. The humidity is always a thing. it really separated. Same thing with Unadilla. But, dude, like, once again, he's on it for 29 minutes, and then all of a sudden, and we know fatigue is not a thing. That's not Eli's issue.
No.
So, like, what happened? This is the only thing that stumbles me. I don't get this with him.
I don't know.
Well, and neither does he. He doesn't seem to have an answer.
Which,
So,
like, is kind of weird. Like, we know that moto guys, like, mentally, we've all know the cliche saying moto is 85% metal or 80, whatever you want to say. But, like, for somebody like him, it's always boggled my mind that he is as accomplished as he is, and then he'll just do this. Like, I don't get it. I just don't.
Maybe.
yeah.
No,
But-
never mind. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Darkside.
I was just saying, well, yeah, nobody has an answer, right? I mean, if anybody did, they'd fix it. But I think he's searching for things. I feel like he's pretty much sticking with not making many changes on the bike at this point. He's riding with what he's comfortable with. Where they went back to some settings.
Yeah, and why would you anyways?
From my from my understanding, he's not allowed to make changes right now.
That's the stupidest thing if that's true.
I don't know about that. He made it sound like they're making a few small changes here and there, but at this point, he's just trying to do the best with what he's got. So maybe you're right, dude.
I've heard some things through the grapevine here. We had that controversial Hopper video not too long ago about him not getting parts or whatever.
Oh boy.
Sure.
So the things I'm hearing through the grapevine here is that they have completely stopped doing suspension testing with him, and it has been that way for a while, and they don't refresh his stuff the way or quite as often as they, I guess, were. And changes are next to nothing other than like clickers on the weekend.
See, I'm not going to comment on that because I'm just not I'm not going to go down that road on this show. But the reason why
all of a sudden now you're going to be shy?
No,
we don't go down these roads?
because I haven't
act like we don't say dumb shit all the time on here. Right?
I'm just not going to say it because I haven't heard that. So I can't comment on that. The reason why I said what I said about why would he? Because it's like, well, at this point, why would he? He's not with the team at the end of the year. Like, we have 3 rounds to go. He's not winning this championship. Like, there's not a fucking chance in hell.
Do you like money?
Eli still makes money whether he wins or not. Like, I understand it's not
Makes
the same.
a lot more money when he wins.
I get that.
And I like money.
I get that. But once again, Eli still makes money. But he's got his eyes set on next year.
He wants another cabin in the woods, bro. Yeah, next year's going to be good.
Yeah, he's got his eyes set on next year. So that was my comment about why would he? Like, what's the point? Like, if he was in this championship, I wouldn't have made that comment. But he's not. He's not winning this title. So it's like, why? Unless he was fearful that he's going to fucking ragdoll himself into the ground, like the way his bike was handling at Thunder Valley earlier in the year, like it was a pogo stick.
Yeah.
What's the point? Like, he doesn't really gain anything. I understand he makes more money if he wins. Like, that's obvious.
Yeah.
But that's just what I meant by why would he? Because, like, he obviously this season, it's just the last hurrah with Cowie. Like, he's focused on next year. That's why I made that comment. Nothing to do with, like, the stuff going on at Cowie. That's just all I meant to clarify.
All right. Darkside's over here telling us to get our tinfoil hats out now.
I have a tinfoil hat.
Darkside's an actual professional.
He is. We're not.
I talked to Eli. I asked Eli about that. I basically said, hey, man, so I know, how aware are you of all these conspiracy theories, all these theories? I said, look, man, we talk about you obviously every week. We talk about you going into the season. I said there was the YouTube video because I jokingly asked him a question when what round was it he got his first moto win? It was before Southwick. Was it
High Point?
Yeah,
no,
High Point.
Yeah, High Point. The second
at High
moto.
Point in the press conference, I said, so did they give you your factory parts back in between motos?
I remember this.
Okay, so he laughed.
I love it.
But I didn't know if he even really knew what I was talking about. So in the interview when I talked to him Tuesday night on the show, I asked him, did you know what I was talking about? Do you hear these stories? And he goes, yeah, how could I not? Of course I do. And if he really has a major problem with Kawasaki and can't wait to get out of there and wants to throw them under the bus type thing, he didn't do that Tuesday night with me. He said it's basically ridiculous. Kawasaki wants to win. They're doing everything they can to help me win. So I don't see any reason to not believe him. I think he's always had weird things where you see him do this incredible supercross race where he's 10 times better than everybody else, and then all of a sudden you'll be like, what the next week? What was that?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't buy into that it has anything to do with the team. And I mean, until somebody confirms that from the team, I'm not buying it.
I think I will buy. I like I said, I'm not going to comment. If I had heard the same thing that what Travis, and I don't deny or agree or whatever, because I have my feelings on that. I think that there is issues with Cowie, but I don't think it's the bike side. It's the obvious, well, this is why he's leaving Cowie. Like, it has nothing to do with, like, oh, he hates so-and-so or this and that. It's just like every other thing with every other team. Like, there's falling out. I want to move my career elsewhere. And we know that Kawasaki has had issues in the past with other guys and certain things. So I think that there's issues in that sense. I'm going to say, though, that next year is going to be very interesting at Star Yamaha. Because
you ain't lying.
Well, I don't know what show it was, Travis, that we did, but I made this comment about what happens if Eli just next year at Star, like, fucking pulls 2015 Geico Honda except doesn't get hurt.
He could, because his suspension guy or whatever not his suspension guy, because it's not Ziggy.
No.
But their chassis guy, I don't remember who
I think
it
it's
is.
the chassis guy.
Yeah, works for Star. That's why they went there.
Yeah,
because his pay cut to go to Star was huge.
I'm not going to go on board with right off the bat. I'd put him as the Supercross favorite over Coop, and then with Dylan winning this out. But I'm going to say this right now, and this is coming from a guy, once again, I've been very critical of Eli, just like everybody else, for the stuff that he needs to be criticized of, not the fact of who he is or his speed, just motos, what he did yesterday. I would almost go on record to say that I feel like we're going to see, we always talk about the Eli of old. I think that we're going to see the Eli of old.
First guy since like Dunge to win outdoors and Supercross back to back.
That's why I say I don't know if I would put him as the preseason favorite in either series, but he's definitely going to be the number, like he's going to be, if there's 1A Coop Supercross, 1A Dylan Outdoors, he's 1A- in both series.
Okay.
If that makes any sense. Like, he's definitely...
Yeah, I'm with you.
Because I just think that we're now at a point where Yamaha, like that 450, it's fucking good. And, yeah, so, I don't know. It just boggled my mind. I just don't get it with him. And I hope that it doesn't happen at Yamaha. Because if it does... There's just always going to be this talk around Eli with his career. Like, why did you do the things that you did? And I understand that he can't figure it out, and nobody can. Or they, like Darkside said, it'd be fixed. Mm-hmm. But I've never seen a guy of his caliber do this. Ricky didn't do this shit.
Yeah.
I know that Stu, like we talk about what Stu did, but when Stu was winning championships, he rarely did this. Mm-hmm. Now he did it when he was not winning championships and crashing. But even then, though, like, Stu only rarely ever had bad motos because he crashed. It's not because his speed wasn't there. Mm-hmm. So it's like Villapoto, same thing. Dungy. I just don't get it with Eli. It just sucks because, like, when he is on it, he's fun to watch.
Uh-huh.
You know, so.
Absolutely.
Darkside, when he was on your show, did you ask him if he'd talked to any other teams other than Star?
I did not. If I'm being honest, very little of my interview with him the other night was about racing. We just touched on a couple of things, and then I did like personality stuff. I wanted to get to know Eli type. But
good.
I did sort of what Outdoors does. I didn't ask about his girlfriend, but I asked about his baby, and I asked about how that changed things.
Still flying all those private jets with Kenny?
Do what? No, I didn't even think about that. I wish I had.
Oh, God. I would like to know that. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. Damn, that'd have been a good question.
You think that you guys, honestly, you think they still kind of are sometimes, or you think that was just like a one-type thing?
That's a good question.
I mean, like, I know people are like, who cares?
They're like the only two in the racing right now that I think can afford to do that.
Yeah, I would agree with. I mean, at least over here in the
probably
States.
Unlikely because he's up in Colorado and Kenny's, in Florida. So I'd say probably unlikely.
I would say because when they did that, where did they go? They went to Houston, didn't they?
Yeah.
For Supercross, and that was probably only because they were both in California testing.
That was just such a weird
Supercross.
That was
it
just
was
such
a weird thing.
Like when that, like I don't know who sent that to our. I don't know like when we. Because I imagine all, like, you, me, and Cole all saw that beforehand, but, like, I don't know. It was either you or Cole that I think sent it to the group chat. Mm-hmm. But, like, to see that, and I had seen it before one of you guys sent it, but, like, it was just such a weird picture to see them together. But then it was, like, once again, we get in this thing with moto guys, like, we only think about them as racers.
Yeah.
We don't really think of, unless we know them personally outside of that. And then to see them, because they've been, I do air quotes, rivals for all these years, to see them with their kids on an airplane smiling, you're like, okay, like sometimes we got to realize that they are human beings and they don't actually have a beef with each
Yeah.
other.
Speaking of that,
I
go
said
ahead.
those exact words to Eli Tuesday night. Like, we don't think of you all the time as a human. Like, when people all talk about your bad days, especially this year, I was like, I mean, you have a new baby. Like,
Yeah.
I know what it was like when I had a baby.
You ain't
So I
sleeping.
knew how it was like when I went to work the next day and my chick was upset or stressed, and then I'm at work and all I'm thinking about is her being mad at me. That'll mess with you're a human being. That will mess with you. And he just sort of laughed and talked about it a little bit. So yeah, I think you're right. We do forget that they are not professional athletes 24/7. They're also dads, husbands, boyfriends, sons.
Yep.
Yeah, you just never know what the hell's going on in their real life that they don't talk about.
Yep.
I saw a picture online of like Justin Cooper, his chick, Plessinger. Was there somebody else from Star? All getting on a private jet to go somewhere.
Was it Justin Cooper's chick's private jet?
I think so.
Or Justin Cooper's chick's dad's private jet?
Because
I mean,
it might have been her Instagram, and I just thought that was a weird dynamic of like
Was Aaron's,
J. Coop and
was Aaron's
Aaron.
wife with him?
Or maybe
she
I
might
don't
have-
remember.
You said you thought it was another one?
I thought there was another rider.
I imagine
too. I
it-
don't remember.
Was it earlier in the year?
I don't know.
'Cause the only thing
I
I-
was
the only thing-
scrolling Insta the other day and
The
found
only-
it somewhere.
if it was
I
from-
was just like, that's weird.
If it was from earlier in the year, the only person I would think of that that's friends with Cooper is Thrasher. So it might have been.
Yeah,
it could have been
maybe.
Thrasher.
Can you? But it's just like I don't see J. Coop and Plessinger being like.
No, they're two
boys.
totally different
That's
people.
Opposite ends.
Two
of the
totally
spectrum.
different people.
They are. Well, Jay Coop's not as
Dickish.
he's pretty funny, and when he's around people, when he's not when he's just with his buddies or whatever, he's a pretty cool guy, man. And it's funny, Levi Kitchen, we had him on Tuesday night also. He said, like, yeah, we all hang out together except for Jeremy Martin. He said J Martin
Wow.
kind of does his own thing. I was
I
like,
Yeah.
love,
J
and
Martin
I
hates
love
everybody.
Germ, and I love Germ. J Mart's my guy, so like but
Yeah. But Levi kind of made it sound like all those guys, they get along. Even Dylan, he's like, we all get along really well. We have fun together. So yeah, you could very easily see the whole team on the plane, except for maybe Jeremy.
you know who's
The Dylan thing's interesting though because
DV.
because DV, what he said on Pulp, dude, of like, so I get Darkside. I know you listened to it. So like, where DV said that like, Dylan wasn't super pumped when he was helping Marv too, but like they were in two different classes or whatever. So that's interesting if like they all hang out or whatever, or like Dylan, integrates himself into that group somewhat too, because
well, you also got to think about it
it's a
too.
weird thing.
It's the same thing with Jeremy. Like DV's his trainer. They all train with Swanee
Yeah.
and Rarick a little bit. So it's like
Yeah, there's some interesting people. Well, and then you're gonna have Eli next year.
you know.
So now you're gonna have
and then you had
three outliers.
You know who probably wasn't on that plane?
Oh,
Jarrett
Yeah,
Fry.
that'd be an uncomfortable truck to hang out at.
Jarrett Fry. Jarrett
that's
Fry.
just got to be weird. But I mean,
Well, then you had Romano in there though, because obviously he's the kid, but like Levi and Romano and like Thrasher and Romano, they're all really really good buddies. I mean,
Yeah.
they've been racing each other all these years, and then like I said, you add in LeBlanc.
yeah.
So yeah, like truck's going to be a lot more full next year.
Does
Yeah.
does Jamar get ready in the lounge with everyone else, or is he just off like under his easy up behind the truck doing his own thing?
Oh boy.
I mean, that's a serious
Oh
question.
yeah.
I don't know the answer to that. I'm sure he changes in the truck though.
That's
I don't think he's that much of an outlier, but maybe he is.
I'm just more interested when J-Mart goes to the 450. What like if he tries to stay with Star and goes with the 450, or if he's on the 450 on the Star team. Like I'm really curious how the dynamic even more is going to change because of the fact that him and Eli are boys. But like because of the fact he doesn't do the team thing, like is his attitude going to change a little bit? Like is he going to be a little bit more like, hey, no, like Eli and me are boys. We're all going to go hang out now, or is he just still going to be J-Mart and like do his own thing? Like that's I've been thinking about that. I understand it doesn't really affect it going into next year. But like if you think about that, if he signs with Star on the 450 when he goes there, him and Eli, like I said, have a really, really good relationship. Is that going to change his view of how he goes about doing team stuff?
Does Eli have a 2-year deal? Darkside, does Eli have a 2-year deal?
Yeah, 2 years.
So yeah,
So
like
maybe 1 year, maybe.
so like yeah, does it change the dynamic, or does he still just keep doing J-Mart things and just does his own stuff? And I really wonder about that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's an interesting concept.
I think he probably at the races has to do his normal thing, but maybe outside the races he can bend a little bit. But yeah, I think at the races everybody has to be the competition.
Well, and it does make me wonder too that if he, once again, this is obviously we don't know, but if he does sign a 450 deal with Star, with him and Eli, like now they're both on the same team, they're both going to be with each other all the time. Do they start training with each other all the time again? Like I've been thinking.
I don't think so.
You don't think so, or do think so?
I don't think so. I don't think they train together.
Okay.
Here's a better question: when they're training together in between motos, when they're sitting in the shop, is it just dead silence? like is it just dead silence, or is J Mart like running his mouth and Eli's just listening to Metallica in his AirPods?
He's got his AirPods on. J Mart's yelling and Eli's
I think most people would be very surprised at how normal the guys probably are off once the helmets are off, and there's nobody around like us, putting a microscope on them. I bet you'd be surprised.
Well, the thing about, once again, being a J-Mart fan, the thing that bothers me is because, yes, he can come off to the average fan kind of as a dick because he does his own thing. But it's if anybody watches, A-Mart's vlogs, how they are, and I understand they're brothers, so it is different. And, when they're up in Minnesota with, their dad. But
Those are the best vlogs. I'm going to miss those.
Yeah, I know. If anybody looks at J-Mart, though, and thinks that he's not a character, he doesn't have a personality, you're just not paying attention.
No, I like to listen to him talk shit on Troll, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah, and it's going to suck because, with A-Mart.
Yeah, they're fun.
So, I don't know. That's just, I guess what frustrates me is because I think that the average fan sees J-Mart as this, super serious, he doesn't like anybody else, whatever. And maybe that is the case at the races, but like you said, when people like us aren't around and, the cameras are off, Jeremy's a character. He has a personality. He's not just this robot that only cares about winning, and that's the only thing he gives a shit about. He's a funny dude. I mean, Jesus. Yep. Who is it? A-Mart's camera guy, the graphics guy, Briar Perry. They had to censor Jeremy in all the videos because he kept cussing too much, and he had to yell at him, dude, you got to stop cussing. I can't keep doing this.
Right.
So, I don't know. Once again, people forget these are human beings we're talking about. They're not just, they ride dirt bikes for a living, and that's all they do.
Yep.
Oh, man. I'm just thinking about them sitting in the shop, just in between motos, just dead silence.
Just
not
awkward.
Looking at each other. Just a forward GoPro shot, wide angle of them, 20 feet apart, bikes there, mechanics working, and they're just silently sitting there.
You mean
not a word?
Not a word.
You mean like the Alton Baker factory?
Oh God, yeah, no way. Them Baker boys are all friends. Haven't you seen the pictures of Jason spotting Marv on bench press or something? There's no problem there.
Yeah,
everything's fine down there. The bakery is totally okay and open for business still. There's nothing wrong there.
Sure.
I'm just going to be dead silent.
Okay.
And let you keep going.
Hey, man, I could keep going. I have lots of... the information I'm gaining right now is priceless. The amount of a pay cut I heard that Tomac took to go to Star was wild. I heard some of the teams I heard he was talking to before Star is...
I heard Honda. He wanted to go back to...
Geico. He contacted Geico before they closed down. He was going to go back there.
Yeah.
That was actually, from what I understand, the first team he talked to.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Which I was like...
Because I would have loved to seen him on a factory Honda bike.
Yeah.
I really would have.
That would have been cool. So, all right. Darkside, how we doing on time for you, man?
And I kind of need to wrap this up. I'm going to go pick my granddaughter up here in a little bit.
All right, cool, man. Who you got on your show this week?
Actually, no regular show this week. We were going to take a week off because of my job, but I am going to do a Verb Moto check-in with Troy Dog. He's going to get on with me. We're going to talk to Chiz and Grant Harlan because those are his guys.
Yes, I want to know what's going on with Grant Harlan.
We're going to do a quick little check-in with those. Both those guys are racing Ironman, so we're going to do something with them, but technically it's not a Moto X Pod Show episode. It's just a little Verb Moto check-in.
Sick. We got Chiz coming up after you, actually, so...
Nice.
Yep.
This week?
In the next hour.
Oh, I got you. Awesome. Chiz is great interview, man.
Yeah. I did one with him on Tuesday. Did you listen to that? Probably not.
I have not listened to it. It's on my iPod, but I haven't listened yet.
All right. Hey, at least it's on his thing. So,
Oh yeah, it's downloaded.
Yeah.
It's downloaded.
I'm
Yeah.
definitely gonna have to listen to the Verb Moto check-in because I want to know what's going on with Grant Harlan.
yeah.
I really do.
We'll check it out. It'll be up Tuesday night, so we'll do that about 7:00 Central Time, and
All right.
it should be up. It should be up by 8:30
Yeah.
Central Time, probably.
I'm gonna have to check it out. I want to know what's going on with him because I know he raced our boy Kevin.
At a fair race with
But-
87
Yeah,
other
yeah.
pros.
Yeah. So I want to know what's going on with him.
$13,000 purse. Wild. Well, all right, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thank
Make
you.
sure to check out Darkside, Moto X Pod Show, Pulpamex Wrap Up Show. Are you doing? Who's on the wrap up show this week?
Shit. Let me think. Kurt Alves with Firepower Chains and Justin Jennings, Triple J.
Sweet.
Nice.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Hey, if you ever need someone for that, like in a pinch, somebody backs out, just let me know.
Yeah.
I listen to Pulp
Will do, man.
all the time, man. So I know
Perfect,
I'm probably
perfect.
blacklisted from Steve, but it's fine.
Jesus Christ.
He's never said anything to me. So yeah.
I'm gonna try to
Well,
I'm gonna try to find him this weekend.
Yeah, we're gonna try to go up and talk to him. We had a chance at Red Bud, and we just didn't pull the trigger on it.
Yep.
Yeah. Go talk to him, man. Let
Well-
me know how that goes.
Oh, don't worry, you'll be the first person I text. So, bro, just met
Awesome.
Steve, and this is what happened.
Be like, Steve liked us or he didn't like us.
he told me to pound
Right,
sand.
right.
So,
Man, he's nice. He's usually nice to everybody.
oh yeah, I don't figure we'll have any issues. So, all right, man. Well, thanks for coming on.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate it, man. Yeah, make sure to check out Darkside. Like I said, Moto X Pod Show
Absolutely, man.
and
Yep.
Pulpamex Wrap Up Show. See you, buddy.
See ya.
All right. Thanks for having me on. See you guys.
Bye.
All right, everyone. Darkside.
That was awesome. That was good. What are you looking at?
Weird ass text that says
What?
because of your continued use of Venmo, you have been awarded $100. Claim here. Yeah, that's not a fucking
Yeah, that's
scam.
not. Yeah, no shit. Just enter your credit card number here.
Uh-huh. Yeah, sure.
No,
because
that
let me
was.
tell you, I've never used Venmo.
Yeah, fuck Venmo. Cash App. I'm just kidding.
PayPal.
No, that was obviously I wasn't on for the Darkside show when you did it with him. He definitely, and I don't obviously because I don't watch Pulp as much as a lot of other people. Like I didn't really know much about Darkside. I know who he was.
Yeah.
he definitely seems like a real solid dude. Yeah,
No, he's super nice
Yeah,
guy.
awesome.
Super nice guy. So
Yep.
glad to have him on. Again, make sure to check him out. Moto X Pod Show and Pulpamex Wrap Up Show. It's a show about a show.
Show about a show.
So
Maybe we'll make a
interesting.
show about a show
You
that's
ever
about a
listened
show.
to it?
A few times. Not a lot.
I've listened to it a couple times.
Yeah,
But
I didn't know though that he had. I probably would have checked for it though if I knew he would have had Dylan and Levi on.
yeah, I listened to the one with Dylan because that was the one I think Sean Brennan was on.
Yep.
I did not listen to the one last week. As I told him, and he's told me, there's just so much out there that like listening
hard.
to everyone's show is just like DV was saying on Pulp last week. Like, there's all this fucking content. What do these people do? Nothing the rest of their lives, and it's like, yeah, pretty much. We don't do anything other than listen to moto stuff. I'm trying to get info. What do you want me to tell you?
I mean, I've told you this before. I'm gonna be real honest with you. Like, other than like when our show comes out, and I kind of just look to see like, hey, how did this turn out? The only other real shows I listen to is obviously Gypsy and the Main Event Moto Show. That's really it. Like,
Yeah.
those are the only two shows I really look for. Like, other than the other ones, it's not that I have anything against the other shows. It's just like you said, like it's very hard. There's so much content out there, and then it gets to the point, like especially if nothing's really going on, like it's always everybody talks about the same thing, and you can get different takes, but it's kind of the same thing over and over again. And other than Jace and like I said, having Toolman and listening to what DB has to say, like I really don't care what anybody else has to say. So, I mean, it's just being honest.
Sorry, I'm just looking for something here because I got sent something earlier, but I can't find it now.
Okay.
Anyway, all right. So a couple more things with 450, dude. How about that big get off by Craig? God damn it!
He is becoming like rubber band man because some of his crashes he's had,
That was a big one.
like the Washuga one, was
he
bad
got
too.
away. Yeah, he got away from it, but
Yeah,
man,
well,
that was big.
dude, the thing is too, I couldn't tell because of the way the banners were. I think that the bike actually clipped him. I think when the bike started endoing, like, because if you noticed when he like pitched and then he hit the ground, he started rolling,
Yeah.
and then he had this like burst of energy pushing him forward, and I think the bike hit him.
Maybe.
Because he didn't hit the banner like the way that way. It just like he was going like this, and then it popped him forward.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, the bike had to have hit him hard. Yeah, and like we kind of talked about with AP, like it sucks, dude. I feel so bad for him. Like, I don't know.
It's the perfect setup for him to win Indiana.
It's not gonna rain though.
He's my pick for Indiana.
It's not gonna rain though.
He's gonna win. Doesn't matter.
It's not gonna rain.
He doesn't need the rain. At
He's
this
not.
point.
He's not gonna beat Dylan. He's not going
I
to
think
beat
he
Dylan.
is.
No.
I think he is.
If it was a mud moto, I would completely agree. He's not beating Dylan.
I think he is.
No.
All right. Well,
Not going to happen.
you sound stupid a lot. It's fine. This isn't the first time I've told you that.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? You're going to go down that road, pal?
You want to talk about Sexton yesterday too? Then we'll move on to 250s here.
Sure. What do you want to talk about with him?
Dude, he's fast.
Yeah, but
He's starting to get it together.
He does.
He's got some issues. Now, the issue he had yesterday, he crashed on that same jump I think Craig did, right? Wasn't that where? Or, well, he didn't crash. He got
loose, and it definitely robbed some of his momentum.
He was hanging 10, brah. But he made it happen.
Yeah, he's looking good. We kind of talked about this, like what is going on with Sexton. He's kind of been underperforming, and then ever since Millville, he's done really well. Washougal, he did really well. Unadilla, obviously, like when he slammed into Planet Earth the first lap, but then the second motor really good. Yeah, he's kind of like it was becoming him, Barsha, and AP, and I still think obviously Barsha wasn't there, but like with AP, it's still kind of those three. It's kind of a toss up, like. On any given moto.
Yeah.
But he's kind of like, now he's starting to perform. It's just, man, Kenny and Dylan, though, their pace is just so hard to match for 35 minutes.
Kenny's so fast those first 3 laps.
And which is, once again, funny because it's the exact opposite. He
Yep.
is so fast at the beginning, and Dylan matches.
So fast at the end.
But the crazy thing is, he matches that pace, though, at the
Yeah.
end. Like, usually it's never been really the case. Like, the end pace is only because guys are starting to fade, whoever it's been, kind of like Eli or, when... Hurling's even over the GPs or, whatever. But no, Kenny's pace at the beginning, Dylan's doing the same pace at the end, but it's not because the guys are fading. He's just going as fast as Kenny was at the beginning.
Yeah.
And that's just, it's wild to me, man. Like, and after that first, how many times, though, coming down the downhill, did you think that Dylan was going to I'm just going to high side? Like that one lap where he caught the first braking bump, and then he was trying to
Henry Hill.
Yeah, he was trying to shift his fucking hips, and it just kept bouncing back and forth.
Yeah,
and he did it all the way into the corner.
Yep.
And you're like, holy shit! That probably he was like, yeah, that was really. Once again, you can talk about Cody Schock had a really really good day. Joey was doing better. Coop, man, this is just Coop outdoors, man.
Yep.
Just Coop.
It was better though.
Rod Bell had a good ride. Runkles as a privateer was really good. Max Anstey's just kind of being top 10 right now, but he's got a lot of health issues going on.
Yeah.
Who else really though? Marv had terrible starts yesterday. I don't know
It still wasn't, I don't think, a terrible day for Marv, though. He ended up coming through.
But I don't know what the fuck he was doing that first moto.
It's Marv.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell he was doing.
Yeah. We don't have to keep dragging on 450s. We can move to 250s here, man.
Yeah, I just wanted to try to think. I tried to think like what else was really going on, and other than that, like I said, Cody Schock was just the biggest he just really impressed me that second moto.
Yeah.
But yeah, 250s.
250s. So J Coop on fire that first moto,
dude.
On fire.
This 250 title is going to come down to the last moto.
Yep.
It's coming down to the last moto.
100%.
And tell me if you agree with this statement, because we both. I would obviously rather see J Mart win this title. I think that honestly, had he not got hurt, he would be the points leader by quite a bit right now. But remember how I can't remember if it was after Millville or Washougal where we kind of talked about, well, the only reason J Coop is beating Jet right now is because he's getting starts and Jet's not.
Yes.
And we kind of believe that Jet outright is just he's faster than J Coop. Because it was obvious. Like anytime they started together, Jet just kind of walked away from him.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be real honest with you and tell me if you agree with this or not. So J Coop right now, his first motos have been insane.
Yep.
Like Unadilla, he dropped Jet. They started together. First moto yesterday, dropped it. Got fucking 7 seconds on lap 2 or whatever it was.
Yeah,
that was insane. If he would learn to tone it down a little bit, but to my question, I don't really know if I can stand by my statement that straight up right now when they're on it, that Jet is faster than J Coop. Because J Coop's first motos, I understand Jet has beat J Coop the second motos, but if we're talking about the best of what they look like, J Coop's first motos have been more impressive, other than that second moto Unadilla, than Jet's second motos. So if you take, what?
Dude, that first moto yesterday, Jet was no slouch either.
No, but J Coop,
he got stuck behind J Mart for
but he wasn't going to beat J Coop that first
Probably
moto.
Not,
no,
but dude. He went from 7th to 3rd in a lap and a half.
I understand that, but if you look at the lap times,
when he decided, look, it's time to drop the hammer. Fuck this, I'm done.
But his lap times, though, still when J Coop's best lap times, they weren't there.
Yeah,
J Coop, and this is once again coming from someone that would much rather see Jet win this title. If we're talking about those two, I felt like up until Millville, Jet, his speed was better than Jake Hoops, and it was obvious. But I'm here to tell you, man. And if you've noticed, though, and they even talked about it, GL talked about it a little bit in the off-cambers, like Jake Hoop is his technique is changing a little bit. I've been noticing him is riding more with his lower body. He's on the balls of his feet. He's standing more, weighting the pegs through corners. Where his body positioning under braking, it's changing. Even the practice videos, like he's slowly changing his technique a little bit, and it's helping. Man, I don't know. If you tell me that this is going to come down to the last moto at Hangtown, and you're going to tell me that they're going to start together and they're both at their best, I think it's a toss-up at this point.
Yep.
Because, like I said, don't get me wrong, Jet's second moto at Unadilla was freaking phenomenal. Mm-hmm. But Jake Hoop's first two motos, these last two rounds, have been just as good.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, there's no way I would have thought that first moto at Unadilla, Jake Hoop would have dropped Jet. Like, if you told me they're starting together, I'd be like, Jet's going to pass him on lap 5 and walk him.
Yeah.
No, it was the other way around. He got walked. And like I said, the first moto at Bud. So, I mean, dude, if I'm being honest with you, I really don't know who I favor. Because the problem is, the thing is that, so Jake Hoop, I think that he needs to tone it down a little bit halfway into these first motos. Because it's clear that he is not, he's fading the second motos, especially yesterday. And it's going to be even worse at Ironman this coming weekend because it's going to be hot from what it looks like.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's going to be hot. So it's going to be really...
I'm excited.
Yeah, so am I. It's going to be interesting. Like, it's going to be in the 90s, and it's going to be hotter than Bud's. It's just Bud's had more humidity. So the thing is that even though you would say the momentum is going to Jet because he's actually gaining points on Jake Hoop, but it's like Jake Hoop's saving grace is he's winning these first motos. So think how crazy this is. And it's basic math. Jet is taking 1 point at a time. So we're going to get down to the last round, and it's going to be 1 point. I don't know who's going to win between the two. Like, I mean,
if it follows the same way that we were doing right now,
it's going to be Jet because
it's going to be Jet because in that second moto he's going to do it.
But here's the thing, though: if they can figure out with Jake Hoop, like, hey, dude, back it down a little bit in these first motos. You don't need to win by this much because it's clear it's affecting you in the second motos. That's the thing. If he can figure that out, and he's going to have to because that's what he's going to have to do to win this title. Dude, this is going to be the first time in a long time, the second moto, the last moto, it's literally all the marbles. Like, it's for the title. You beat so-and-so, you win the ship.
Yep.
I'm actually really excited right now because we know that Dylan, unless something crazy happens, winning this 450 title. For the first time in a long time, and I'm not talking mathematically, I'm literally talking it's win or don't win the title. The title is coming down to the last moto, and it's you have to beat this guy to win the title. Dude, how it's going to be fucking nuts because we know they don't like each other. But here's the unfortunate thing. Jet has Hunter.
I know.
And this is I'm not talking about Hunter, the way he's performing. He's got one dude. Jake Hoop has two dudes, but the problem is that one of them is not on the same equipment, and the other one is J-Mart, who doesn't fucking do anything for anybody else other than himself. So are we going to get some, like, pinball situation where somebody's getting their front end sawed off?
Probably.
Dude, I really hope it just goes this way all the way down to the last round at Hangtown. I'm going to be amped for that moto if this is what it comes down to. Because, like I said, if you follow what the last four motos have gone, that's what it's going to come down to. It's literally going to be 1 point at the final moto of the year. And I know that the thought of that happening, like it playing out that way, like is kind of a pipe dream because it just doesn't seem like it. But, dude, can you also imagine the nerves? Like, even for Jet, like, I know that he's Jet. He's cool. He doesn't – if you tell him, dude, you just have to beat him. Like, that's all you have to do. You just beat him. They're both going to be nervous as fuck. There's no way that you're going to sit there and tell me that they're not going to be nervous. Like, that's what you live for. Like, you live for these moments.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know who I give the nod to because, like you said, if it follows what has happened, it's Jet. But it's like if Jake Hoop can realize, hey, dude, tone it down a little bit halfway to those first motos where he has the endurance for the second moto, it's going to be a war because I think it's going to literally come down to who is willing to take the other one out. I don't know. It's making me excited,
Got a
though.
lot of money going on Jet at that point.
But do you really, though?
Yep.
Because, but why? I'm not saying that I
Listen
say
to that Whiskey Throttle podcast.
No, I haven't had the time.
Got a lot of money riding on Jet.
Why?
They've been through a lot of shit.
Well, yeah, of course they have. I know that. I've heard the snippets of what it was talked about. I understand that. But once again, though, I'm not saying that J. Coop is better at playing those games because I don't think either of them are. But it's like neither of them in their life have been in a situation where it's either you beat the fucking guy or you don't win the title. Mm-hmm. I know that J. Coop just won a Supercross title, but dude, he didn't have to win. So it's like, dude, is it going to be a Zach Osborne, Joey Savacci thing where both of them just crumble and like the other one just who had the less of worst moto races in Vegas? Because I'm going to be real honest with you. I know that Jet, he's still young, obviously. J. Coop is young too, but obviously he's quite a bit older than Jet. But they're still kids. And like mentally, they have never been in a situation like that before. I don't really know who I'm going to say in that situation is mentally tougher. You would say that Jet mentally because he just has this loose, relaxed attitude. But once again, he's never won a championship as a professional. 1 point, and all you got to do is beat the dude. Like, that's a lot to put on a 17-year-old. But once again, though, J. Coop, same thing. We know he's kind of mentally all over the place. I don't know, man. It's making me really excited, though, because that last moto is going to be intense.
You ready for our next guest?
Sure.
Next guest, brought to you by Alias Sport. Alias Sport Pain Balm / CBD oil, chill oil. That's what they call it. The one, the only privateer hero, Kyle Chisholm here. Let's get Kyle on the phone. I was thinking about as smooth as I could do that. Didn't go great, but it was as smooth as I could do it.
Hello.
Kyle Chisholm, how we doing,
What's
bud?
up?
Welcome to the Moto Aftermath Show.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Thanks
Man.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Thanks for taking some time. I know you're a busy guy trying to be with the fam here and stuff, so we won't
no worries.
won't take too much time here. But man, great day at Bud's yesterday, bro.
Did very well for me in fantasy.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, no worries. No, it was good. I had fun. I always liked that track. Like I said, that's why I wanted to, try to fit that one in if I could.
Yep.
So have fun there, enjoy it, and obviously that makes it like easier to do good if you want. It's never easy, obviously, and just because you like a track doesn't mean like you're automatically going to do good. But you can have good vibes and good feel about it and enjoy it. If you're having more fun, it's easier to do good, whatever and stuff like that. So, but with that said, it's hard to just jump in and race with these guys, when they've been racing all year or all summer, and doing this. And I've been riding, here and there. But even if I was training my butt off for, 2 months, it's not the same as racing. So it's not easy to just jump in and race with those guys at that pace when they're pretty dialed in at this point in the season. So, but yeah, no, I like the track. I just wanted to go have fun. If I did bad, who cares? It's not like I'm there to, try to get a ride or something. I'm there because I want to be there and just have fun and enjoy it. So, yeah, I enjoyed that place and had some fun and had a pretty good result.
Well, you've got way more commitment than me because I went to Red Bud yesterday and it's hot as fuck up here too. And I raced I did my practice in the morning and did one moto and went home because it was way too hot.
You're soft, man.
Yeah,
You're
It is
soft.
hot. It was hot this weekend at Bud's too. And then I flew back this morning and I was just outside today, this afternoon. Oh, I'm in Florida and I'm like, at least we're gonna have to race in this because if people thought it was hot, and I thought it was hot too. It was hot.
Yeah.
I'm like, if they thought it was hot there, then good thing they're not, here racing, which we've raced here obviously before, like WW and up in Jacksonville and stuff. But yeah, it's another level. But that makes it tough too, because trying to train and ride during the week, you try to put in your time, but then it's easy to kind of wear yourself out before the weekend even starts.
Yep.
So that's a good balance. You got to kind of learn and just kind of pay attention to your body and stuff like that. So something I've had to deal with throughout my career, and kind of learn as you go and be like, oh, yep, overdid it this week, should have done that. And you kind of suffer the consequences and, okay, hopefully you learn from it and don't do it again next time. So it's easy to do that being in the heat all the time. But if you're smart about it, and kind of proactive and ready for it, it can kind of be your advantage too when you get there. Because if other guys are suffering from the heat and you're prepared with it and used to it, it can be good, if you're not worn out before you start. Before you get there. So,
well, and I'm sure with you being a 30-something now, much like I am, you've had to adjust your training in your older age, we'll call it, because I know over here, even though I'm not anywhere close to a pro athlete like you guys are, I have had to adjust my training because of being 32 going on 33. I do not recover the same as I used to when I was 24, 25.
Yep. Yeah, no, for sure. I'm 33. I'll be 34 later this year. So definitely recovery is a little bit slower or whatever, but it's all give and take. Like there's so much. I feel like I'm so much smarter about my training though, that even when I did recover better, say 10 years ago, maybe I wasn't training as smart. I didn't know as much, back then. And even so, like, you can surround yourself with the best people that maybe do know whatever, but they're not you. They're not your body. It's hard to, you really got to know yourself, what works for you and what doesn't. And that, a lot of that just comes with experience, trial and error and stuff like that. So, if there's an easy solution to just hire somebody and say, oh yeah, they'll have it. Obviously there's good trainers, obviously, that can help tremendously, but still your body is you, everybody's different and got to listen to it. So yeah, recovery though is not what it used to be. But like I said, you just got to learn and adjust as you go. And fortunately for me, I enjoy like the training and all the work that goes into being able to race at that level. Like obviously you have to have the motivation and the talent and the work ethic. You have to have everything to be able to go compete at that level, because there's a lot of really talented guys that are good on a dirt bike, but maybe they don't want to go pound out 30-minute +2 motos and finish at a good spot. There's just a whole package that has to go with it to do good at that discipline, like at a outdoor motocross race. So I enjoy that part of it, the training, the training on the bike, the training off the bike, the mental state you have to be in to to be there and do it and want to do it. And like I said, I enjoy kind of all aspects of it. As I've gotten older in my career, I've kind of learned to stuff that maybe was like still isn't maybe there's some stuff, it's not all fun, obviously.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that, but you kind of you learn to the stuff that it's not that fun, but all these other parts of it are, and it's worth it to go through this part that's not that fun to get to the other side that is fun, whatever. So you kind of learn to just enjoy the bad parts, because it's, no job in the world is going to be perfect. So it's like you kind of learn to embrace and enjoy the not so fun parts, because in the big picture, it's all part of it, whatever. So it's tough. It's a big thing to just compete at that level and all that. But like I said, I think that's why I'm able to kind of just jump in and do it, because experience and then just enjoying, what it takes to do that. So that's what kind of makes it fun for me.
Yeah. Before we go too much farther, I do have my co-host here with me tonight, Justin. Justin, say hi.
How's it going, Chiz?
What's going on?
I'm sure he's got a bunch of questions, because he was all fired up the other day that he was not on board when I interviewed you the first time. He's like, bro, I wanted to be on. So
I just want to be part of it.
Fire away, bro.
I don't have a bunch of
fire away.
Now you put me on the spot. I don't have a bunch of questions lined up. I was just like, I'd have been like to be in on it to ask, talk about some of the stuff you guys talked about. The stew thing is always cool to me.
Come on.
The stew thing is always cool to me. Like what you guys talked about, Well, like I told Travis, when you were talking about riding at Stu's, like the average person that would have listened to that, like Travis made the comment, oh, when you said you were riding at Stu's house, like people were like, what? The 7 compound? But then I was like, well, like, he grew up around James. Like he's known that family his entire life, this and that, like it's not that crazy. Like you said, you probably put more laps there than anybody else other than them, and I just meant when you said that, the average fan would be like, oh, that's crazy. But then it's like, well, no, it's not really that crazy. Like he's been doing that his whole entire life. So like, I thought that was a really good part of the interview, because, it probably did blow the average fan's mind. Like, oh no, there's no way. Like that's crazy that he's riding there. But like you said, you grew up around James, like you've known that family your entire life. So I just meant that was a really cool part of the interview, because most people probably didn't actually know that about you.
Yeah, and that's something even too, like just in the last years, recent years, that I've just been like, again, I'm obviously the old guy out there racing, so I just you kind of just not that you have to like change your perspective, but your perspective just kind of changes on some things. And like, that's one, that the fact that I get to go there and ride and be there is a huge thing that people would like, maybe do anything to just get a chance to go there once, whatever. So, and for me, I've been there since day one, since they, before, when they were building a track there, whatever. Me and James rode together since, mini bike days, before they ever had a track of their own and stuff like that. So for me, on one hand, it's like, oh, well, it's not that it's not cool, but it's like, it's nothing special because like, it's just normal for me. But then, like I said, as I've gotten older and perspective changes a little bit, you're like, man, that's really cool that I get to be here, because look at how many people in the world would love to just be able to even just be there and see it, whatever. So, something I'm thankful for, obviously, and they're a great family, great friends. Malcolm, like I said, they're like, Malcolm's like a little brother to me, whatever. So, obviously James isn't out there really riding much anymore, but, we grew up together, pretty much best friends growing up. And, that was like a second home to me. I'd be living there half the time. We'd be training together and riding and stuff like that. So, no, it's an awesome place that I get to go to. And that's, like I said, that's kind of my view on it now, is the fact that I get to go there. It's not, not taken for granted. So, and just enjoying racing and kind of where I'm at.
Well, not to go too far into the Stew Compound thing. How gnarly are those jumps out there, though?
It's not that bad anymore, honestly. Like, it's like a good super mini kid would jump everything, on the outdoor track for the most part. So, back in the day, though, back when James was full outdoors and all that, it was like freestyle, freestyle doubles everywhere. Rough, though, too, and just big jumps everywhere. There was like jumps when I was on a 250, 250F that were like, if it wasn't like perfect conditions, I couldn't even jump them, whatever, that they were that big. So, there was some big jumps, at certain points for sure. But, nowadays it's just a really good, fun, outdoor track. There's some big jumps, but nothing like super gnarly. Like the biggest jump is like a single table. So like, it's got a nice big landing. You have, 50 feet to go long or short and you're fine. Where before it would be like a double, and it's like, if you're, 5 or 10 feet long or short, you're, pretty much screwed. We're talking like 100-foot double. That's like a freestyle jump, whatever. So, there was some big ones in the day, but nothing crazy now. But it's a good training track. It's rough. There's still quite a few jumps, but nothing crazy, whatever. Not too crazy these days.
All right. Well, you see it on the YouTube videos, and you're just like, man, those things look massive. So
they're not small. They're not small still by any means, but they're just not as gnarly as they used to be. Whatever. So
not to keep going on the Stu thing, but Travis, did you know that Chiz was teammates with Stu at one time? Do you remember that?
Was that on
was that Yamaha?
Yeah. Was that for what was it? JGR?
San Manuel.
The San Manuel experience.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In 09. Yeah.
Yeah, and also, did you know that there's I don't know how much Chiz likes to talk about this, but did you also know that there was a famous incident with Chiz and Chad Reed?
No, that I don't know about. I mean, I might.
I imagine if you probably talked about this a lot in your career. Maybe you haven't. Like, have you?
Yeah, no, I have. Yeah.
Okay. Do you not like talking about that, or?
No, I don't mind. Back then, I was kind of like, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But no, like, so when we were teammates, Chad and James were battling for the championship, and just to give like a quick summary of it, so Chad and James were battling for the championship, and it was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 rounds from the end at Salt Lake City, and I was getting lapped like right at the end of the race, and getting lapped, but provided is my rookie year on a 450, obviously good opportunity on a good team, stuff like that, and I was battling, I don't remember exactly, I'd have to go back and look, but I was like maybe 12th in points, something like that, 12, 13, rookie year, 450. I only ever raced 2 years of Supercross on a 250, and I was still pretty young to move up to a 450 and have that opportunity. But anyways, I was in a battle for like, I don't know, 12th or 13th that night, and like in points, me and, I forget, it might have been like Paul Carpenter were battling that night, and in points, and some other guys, and I was getting lapped, and James went by, and then like a few turns later, Chad was going by, and we were like opposite rhythms in a rhythm section, and I had like went step on, step off into the turn, and I kind of ran Chad a little bit high, and obviously being teammates with James, they were battling. They were pretty heated multiple times throughout the year. James and Chad just getting into it, and not fights, but yelling at each other, hands on each other at certain points. So it was a pretty heated, fun year to watch, like as a fan, whatever. But anyways, I'm in a battle of my own that night and championship-wise. I'm trying to fight for a ride again the next year. And so James went by, and a couple turns later, Chad was going by, and I kind of ran him a little bit high in turn, not on purpose. Like I said, I went step on, step off, and it was like a wet, wasn't muddy, but it had rained, and the dirt was super slick and hard packed. And I kind of slid up into the turn. If you watch video, I'm literally, my brakes are locked up, rear wheel's locked up. If I would have just gone off the brakes, I would have T-boned him and taken him out. But, people tried to say I was trying to take him out, whatever. And I actually crashed trying to not take him out. And I don't even think we even bumped at all. His lap time was no slower than what it was. I actually crashed on the brakes trying to not hit him. And so it got construed that I was trying to take him out. They black flagged me, disqualified me from the race. Didn't let me race the last 2 races, and all this stuff. It was this big deal. And I'm literally, brakes are locked up to avoid hitting him. I crashed. He didn't crash. It was just this big thing. And it was just, it sucked. Obviously, if it was anybody else other than James's teammate, nothing would have been said about it other than, oh, that idiot, almost got in the way, whatever. And it just sucked. It was a crappy position to be in and kind of just got blown out of proportion for what it was. But it is what it is. People talked about it, and people still talk about it. And fast forward a year after that, I was riding with Chad at his compound for the next, from 2011 until he just sold it, a couple years ago, for almost 10 years. I was there riding with Chad, good friends with him still, whatever. So he was super cool about it, and understanding and everything. And it was basically nothing, but just got really blown out of proportion, in that time and in those few weeks and, just that point in time. And like I said, it was just kind of crappy situation. And it was bad for me. It cost me a lot of money, cost me a ride the next year, basically, without technically, but basically everyone's like, oh, we're not going to deal with him. That happened. That's a bad, bad thing. That really was nothing, but
Thanks
just
a lot,
the way it was all handled, it just sucked.
Well,
yeah.
The reason why I bring that up, Chiz, I wasn't trying to bring up old memories. I wanted for people that don't know the story to hear your side. That's why I asked if it was a sore subject, because I was thinking the same thing. I remember watching that race that night and then hearing all the things later on, him and James, not only the teammates, they're good friends. Chiz did that purposely, and I'm like, are you guys stupid? I understand he was being lapped, but once again, like you said, rookie year, you're battling for a ride, you're doing your own thing, you're having a great season as a rookie, especially that year with how stacked the class was. And then it's why would he purposely take his own, take a chance of everything that you went through anyways, just to get into it with Chad? It's that's the reason why I brought that up, because anybody that doesn't know the story, because it's why would he do, what was the other shit? People were they talked about it before the race, and I'm like, y'all are good. Really? You actually think that was planned? It's
not that easy. Yeah, it's not that easy to just go take. So I'm going to take that guy out and go take him out, especially when it's those guys that are that fast. It's easy for a really fast guy to take out a slower guy because you can do whatever you want to him, right? But if somebody's that fast, it's not that easy to get any chance to even take them out if you wanted to. And my biggest thing, and even my arguments the AMA, if I am obviously we literally reviewed tape with them and all stuff. I'm literally watching all these angles. I'm you can literally see my back wheel is completely locked up on the brakes, going into the turn as he's going around me. And literally, if I wanted to literally just T-bone him over the berm, I could have just let go of the brakes, not even hit the gas, just let go of the brakes. And I literally was so locked up, went by, I kind of clipped his back wheel and fell over, onto my high side, trying to not take him out, whatever. So it was just, like I said, it was a crappy position. If it was anybody other than James's friend and teammate, it wouldn't have been anything other than maybe oh, that freaking lapper kind of got in the way, oh, idiot, whatever. But other than that, it would have been nothing. But it just, like I said, they had a really heated year, battling all year, and and then me being his teammate. It was a perfect storm of something nothing to be created. There was nothing. It was just kind of something that got created, and rightfully so. I mean, I can see where people would come off like that, but if you really look at the details and look at, again, I guess just hear my perspective of it, and then look at the tape, it's it could be, you could view it that way too, other than James's teammate getting in Chad's way or taking him out or something. So but it's what it is. At this point, it feels like a lifetime ago, like I said, and being like good friends with Chad for so long now, and riding with him and training with him a bunch too. It's just kind of like it's something that at this point I don't mind talking about, because I can look back and be like, it sucked. It was a stupid thing. It sucked to be in that position, and it is what it is, and you can't change it now, obviously. But that's what it was, and that's what happened. And I was, again, young and just bad place, bad time, bad that I was that person's teammate, and just all that. And it is what it is. I was 20. Gosh, I don't know. I was probably 21, 22 years old on a 450 rookie year on a factory team, and never even been on a factory team. I raced more Supercrosses that year than I had my whole career combined, because I only did 2 years on a 250, and I was hurt one of the years, for most of the season. So not a lot of experience in Supercross, and trying to learn, and still having a decent year, and trying to, how it is every time we're out there, you've got to prove yourself. So it's like not easy, especially at that point in my career. But like I said, it's so long ago that I can look back at it now and be like, you just learn from it, whatever. And, and it is what it is.
The crazy thing about that is what was it? I think it was 2 years later, whatever year it was, that a kid that I grew up racing with, Kyle Regal, when he was James's teammate, I was like, Kyle had more run-ins with more people, and I'm pretty sure he also had a run-in with Chad.
It was the very next year, I think. Or no, it was 2 years later. No, I don't remember. It was either the next year or the year after. Yeah, you're right. One of those years. But yeah, no, same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, he had so many run-ins with so many people, and then, like I said, funny that run in with Chad once again. James and Chad battling for a title, and Kyle has a run in with Chad, and I'm like, oh, now people are just going to start to think that all of James's teammates just hate Chad Reed.
Yeah. No, they just had such a rivalry. You know what I mean? Through the years, I think anything like that people could like pick at, it's like, oh, that's something. They kind of just try to make something out of nothing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
So Chiz, what do you do in the off season here? Like in between Supercross,
please don't say golf.
And then Super. Yeah, if you say golf, I'm hanging up.
I like golf. I really don't get to do it nearly as much as I would like to, with 2 kids and everything going on in life. But I would like to golf more if I could. But you guys mean like let's say from like outdoors like until Supercross?
Well, I'm just saying. So, like, okay, you race the entire Supercross series, or as much of it as you possibly can, and then like in the summer, like you're doing select outdoors, but it's not like you're out there grinding day in and day out to get ready for moto. You obviously are taking some time off. You're not quite on the Brayton program yet, but you're not full blown outdoor guy. So I mean, like, what do you do for money during the summer? Like outside of race a couple nationals and hopefully do pretty decent.
Well, first part of that is my plan has been like, not purposely to copy him, but that's kind of like the path I've been kind of going towards is the Brayton kind of path or whatever you want to call it. But the problem with me is I get bored too quick, and I like racing, and like I said, I like the training, I like all that, and I'm like, which race am I doing? I gotta go do one. Whatever. I'm a fan just as much as I am a professional racer, it's my job. And I'm watching at home and I'm like, okay, I'm get all excited just like you guys to watch the outdoor on TV. And I'm like, oh, okay, let me look at the schedule now. Which one am I gonna do? Like literally, even this year I'm like, okay, I'm not doing any. This year would be so easy because like last year I just did WW because it was a weird year. Everything was super late. WW's in Florida. It was close. And it was so late in the year. I'm like, I'm riding anyways at this point. I took a couple months off. I was back riding. And it was already September. And I'm like, I might as well go race. So I did it. It's close by. But this year, there's nothing close to Florida. So I literally said this year, I'm like, we had a good Supercross year. Whatever. There's nothing even close. I'm not doing outdoors this year. I've said that the last 2 years. I still ended up doing a couple outdoors. I said this year, I'm not doing anything because it doesn't make sense. There's nothing even close. And I literally watched, Paula, first one, and I'm like, literally at that point, I'm like, I already knew. I'm like, okay, Southwick's back on the schedule. I'd like to try to hit that one. Literally, I watched Paula, and I'm like, okay, how can I make it work to do Southwick? What do I got to do? And I wasn't riding. I took like a month off, whatever. And I'm like, okay, how do I make Southwick work? How can I do it? And I like just kind of looked into it and whatever. And then probably a week or two before, I'm like, okay, it's possible, but I still got some things to figure out. Then I didn't even know that I was going to be able to until like the Tuesday before. So that's, you guys that kind of know how that one went. And after that, I'm like, ooh, okay, that was fun, but I really didn't do that good. I could have done way better. Crashed both motos, just crappy stuff happened. I literally rode, I think, 6 times since Supercross before then. And I'm like, well, I want to ride for like at least a week or two and then go try another one. Butts Creek looks fun. I like that one. Let's try to do that one. So I'm trying to do the Brayton program, if you want to call it that. But I just like to race and I get bored too quick. I'm a busy body and I just get bored. So that's that part of it. Second part of what you said is like, what do I do for money? Well, it's not race outdoors because you don't make money racing outdoors. Unfortunately.
Oh boy.
It's not good.
Side note, you go 11-13 for 11th. What is the payout for that?
I don't know. I'd have to look, honestly.
Not good. Not what he deserves.
Well, we went over this the first time. If he got like 21st overall, it was like $700.
I got $700. So I probably made $900 getting 11th instead of 20th.
Anyway,
it's literally
back to the main segment.
No,
here.
but honestly, like we don't make hardly any money from the track. But like Alias has done this awesome thing with me. Like giving me all the sales from like say the day before Southwick, the day before Butts Creek.
That's awesome.
That they did. That helped me a ton. I made a couple grand, a few grand with that. I say made, but I still spent, $1,500 to get there and do it. So, and for those that like listen and don't totally get it, because they're, no offense to them, but like, it's not like, let's just say I profit like $2,000. Let's just say I could do that, right? Mm-hmm. Well, like, a lot of people look at it like, well, dude, it's only one day. Like, you just got to race for 30 minutes twice and you make $2,000. Like, I wish I could do that, but it's not. Like, that's like, I'm gone for almost 3 days. I'm like, I trained for 2 weeks coming up to it. I spent however much money to ride at facilities, going to ride, wear and tear on my bike. This is not even counting like my time. I just say I want to pay myself hourly. Like, it's weeks of work and risk of what I do, and it's not guaranteed that I'm going to make even $2,000. So it's like, you're not getting rich, obviously, doing it. So even if I say I made $2,000 racing outdoors, it's like, well, dude, that's pretty good. But like, it is, but it's also like not that great either, whatever. So like, normal people could go work for 2 or 3 weeks and sit behind a desk and save and whatever and have no risk and make $2,000, whatever, in a couple weeks. So it's like, it's not that glorious, but I love it. I can't do it forever. I would like to go do it while I can do it and while I enjoy doing it. So, yeah, honestly, like, back to the original part of your question is I try to be smart with my money. I'm able to make a decent living for, 6 months, doing Supercross. My wife does well with what she's got going on, and just kind of set myself up to be able to take a few months off, kind of hang out with my kids and hang out at home and kind of have a little bit of a normal life, for a few months, stuff like that. So that's kind of what I've tried to do these last couple of years and kind of do it that way.
You know what I heard for that answer?
What?
He's got himself a sugar mama.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I'm trying to get it there. Yeah,
Oh boy. So my question to that is, talking about the Brayton route, have you got an idea like of what off-season races you're going to try to do? Like, I know that once again with everything going on in the world right now, it's hard to even think about stuff like that. But like, have you thought about like trying to do are you going to try to do Paris?
That's what I was going to tell you is, well, you tell me which ones there are, because I would like to do pretty much all of them. There's like, it's hard. There's like hardly anything going on because of all the COVID stuff, especially overseas. It's, even worse than here. So I know there's the Paris one. I've talked to like Eric Bernard. He's one of the people in charge, of that race. And it's hard though, because just all the restrictions to get there. And for them, I'm sure it's hard for them to, to just put things together. So I'm on their list of people to potentially do it. Obviously, they have a really good list of good riders that are already, pretty much committed. Yep. So they're trying to get me in to do it. I would love to do it, but nothing for sure. So, yeah, nothing for certain. I've said it the last couple of years and just been super busy and not really gotten to do it. But one thing I really want to do, especially if I'm not doing a lot of off-season races, is in between my kind of training and preparing for Supercross, I really would like to get out and do some more schools in like riding classes and stuff like that with people.
Yep.
Maybe around the country, maybe travel, do some schools here and there. Just kind of give back and kind of something I've always kind of passionate about. I like helping people and stuff like that. So that's kind of one route I would really like to start kind of going, is just, kind of doing some riding schools and stuff like that, some camps and, things like that. And I love traveling. I'd love to go to, California, Texas, friggin' Michigan, wherever, you know what I mean? Georgia, Florida, obviously, like travel and do some riding schools here and there and stuff like that. So
Have you talked
that's
to
something I would like to do kind of in the off season, maybe, and do if I'm not racing as much.
Have you talked to AJ about that? Because he does really well with that stuff. So
No, he does awesome. Yeah, he does awesome for kind of what he's kind of built on his little program. It's awesome what he does. So something similar, along those lines.
yeah,
Obviously not to copy exactly, but there's only so much you can really do anyways. But yeah, something more along the lines of like what he has going on. I've always just been I could show you guys like notes in my phone from like literally like 3 or 4 years ago of like full class schedules and breakdowns of how I would do it, what we'd work on from this time to this time, and how it would go, and all these ideas to make it really cool from years ago that I've just not actually sat down and put the wheels in motion and kind of done it. But something I really want to do. It's just been hard being busy with kids and houses the last couple of years, and just kind of that transition of like going from full-time racer to part-time racer, only doing Supercross and some outdoor. So that is something that I would like to do. I'm going to try to implement, maybe this year and later this year and see what kind of happens.
I was gonna say we're pretty close with Coach Rob too, and he does a lot of these training schools. So we could put you in contact with him if you haven't talked to him either, because he's always looking for people.
Yeah, so I actually trained with him like my rookie year.
Oh, really?
Racing.
Awesome.
You're talking about Rob Beams,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, he was my trainer for my first 2 years as a pro, and he's in Orlando, not too far from me.
Yep.
And I actually trained. I know Rob really well. He's an awesome guy, awesome trainer, and stuff like that. I learned a lot from him. So, but that's what I mean. And even if I do my own thing, like you said, AJ with Rob, like I'd love to like collaborate with them, here and there and do stuff together. It's awesome. They're good people and definitely something I could see myself doing, with people like that. So yeah, no, he's an awesome bit of knowledge, and especially off the bike stuff, just the training and nutrition side of it. He's super smart, whatever. So I learned a lot from him with all that stuff.
So before we forget, the reason we have you on the show here obviously is to help promote the Alias Sport deal that you've got going on here. And I know we talked about it when I talked to you on Tuesday, but we have another date coming up. Obviously, you're going to Ironman this weekend here to race again. So Alias Sport's gonna back you again and do the Friday before here sale, where all the proceeds are going to you to help get you to the race. So I think I saw something on Instagram or something. We did pretty good this week, didn't we?
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a big help again. So like definitely like huge thanks to everybody like supporting that and what they're doing. I know Mike, the owner of Alias, like just he like is so passionate about the sport and wants to just give back and help, for him to do things like this. Obviously, first of all, for all like fans, is everybody to support, buying and purchasing that day to help support me going racing is huge. Like I'm so thankful and appreciative of that from like all the listeners, everybody that bought and was a part of that. But then same with Mike to even like allow that, he doesn't have to do that or anything like that. So for him to provide that platform to do it as well just kind of shows where his heart is and just his passion, wanting to help, and kind of where he's coming from with it. So huge thanks to him as well, just for even providing that opportunity for me to be able, for all of us, for him, for me, for fans, people that want to support it. It's just an awesome thing that it's just a win-win-win for everybody. Whatever is what we kind of felt like. So huge thanks to him for doing that. And yeah, we're looking to do it again this Friday for Ironman. I'm gonna 2 races back to back. Awesome for me. I'm looking forward to it. I love that place too. So yeah, we talked and we're like, hey, let's do Butch Creek and see how it goes, and maybe we'll do it for Ironman too. So yeah, Butch Creek was awesome again. Southwick was great, and we're looking to do it again this weekend. This Friday for this weekend for Ironman. So I think, what is it, the 27th?
Yes.
This Friday.
Yep.
They'll do it again. All the sales are going to help me with getting me to Ironman. So like we've talked about, it's not cheap to go racing and get everything there, and the travel, logistics, sign up, race fuel, the parts, everything that goes into it. And like we said, unfortunately don't make a bunch of money even if you do really well. And so things like this with Alias stepping up and doing this thing, and all of you guys supporting it, that's what makes it worth my time. I love it, but I do have a family, I do have life also, and it's like it's hard to go spend my own money to go do this often.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably go do it once or twice, but to go train and do it, it's hard to just make it make sense. So things like this though, it makes it make sense, and it makes it fun. Like to get to work with somebody like Mike and with Alias, and then like interact with the fans and them showing the support. It just makes it fun, to see that support from everybody and to everybody wanting to help and do it. It's awesome. That's what makes it. Before I even get there and even race, even if I have a crappy day racing and don't do decent like what I did this weekend, that makes it awesome. Whatever. Like that makes it worth it to me. So I love going out there doing my best for everybody and hoping to go out there and people can be like, oh man, I supported that guy, racing. He got 11th this weekend, and I was a part of him, being there.
Mm-hmm.
That for me, having people come up, meeting them, messages on Instagram, on Twitter, like that's what makes it fun for me. And like a huge part of, I love it personally, but I also love that aspect of it too.
Mm-hmm.
So I really enjoy it. So, and authentically, like not just saying it so you guys help me. Like I really honestly, like that makes it fun for me. Being able to do things like this, like if I'm on a race team and getting paid to be there, like that's nice, but you don't really get to do these kinds of things.
Yeah.
So it's awesome that I've, whatever you want to call it, like built my career to where it is, and I have the support from sponsors like Alias and fans like everyone supporting it, like just the whole package. Like I said, it's not taken for granted. It's very appreciated. I'm very appreciative of it. Like I said, at this point in my career, to just kind of have that opportunity is awesome. Regardless of the racing,
Mm-hmm.
I really do enjoy it. So thanks to everybody for supporting us and what we're doing with it.
Yeah, and did I see somewhere too that you have merch out too? You have T-shirts or something?
Yeah. So just this week, we're trying to get them done. Hopefully, some people can get them for this weekend for Ironman. But yeah, we just finally got couple shirts going. I'm working on a couple more and some hats and stuff like that. Just kind of wanted to see how it goes, and if people want it and they're buying it, I want to keep doing more. So yeah. So you got to go to my wife's website. She already has it set up, and she does a bunch of stuff with hers. So you go to Rebel Brittany. It's Rebel, and then her name's Brittany, Britney. She always says like Britney Spears. So yeah, follow me on Instagram, Twitter. I'll be posting stuff about it. But yeah, rebelbrittany.com. There's like a Team Chiz tab to click on, and there's some shirts and stuff that you guys can get. So finally, I've had so many people for a few years now. We need Chiz shirts. So finally got them done and got them going, and they're getting made right now. So hopefully have them for this weekend. But yeah, go there and get some. It supports me, and like I said, I want to see everybody in the shirts. I love it. I love people tagging me that they purchased and waiting on them. I want to see everybody wearing them. Hopefully sign some at the races and and see people wearing them. That's what I love, just seeing the support.
Well,
like I said, just meeting people at the races and stuff like that. So yeah, go check it out, get some. And yeah, I appreciate it.
Well, we're going to need a couple over here. So
yeah, for sure.
Hopefully if you get them
Yeah,
done, bring
we'll
them to the
make it
race, and we'll buy them off you at the race.
Yeah, rep them all weekend.
Yep.
I would say
I'm hoping I can. Hoping I can get some done and bring them with me.
Well,
I've had people asking, so
we're
we'll
wearing damn
try to
Bobby
make it happen.
Piazza shirts
yeah,
right
we're wearing
now,
some Bobby
so.
P shirts right now.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, no, that's awesome.
So.
Everybody, like I said, it's for all privateers, stuff like that. Just people don't realize how much every little bit helps and it adds up and stuff like that. So, and like I said, just aside from like money and support, like just to see the the support in that way of somebody that wants to wear your shirt and get your shirt and just show the support that way is awesome, whatever. So, no, I appreciate it.
So what's the goal for this weekend, Chiz? What's the goal?
I would say honestly the same as what it was this weekend. Like, I want to just go do my best and have fun. And I believe my best should be top 15. And I say that like, I think I could get a top 10. The right circumstances, I ride my best. I get good starts. I put myself in good position. Could I get a top 10? Sure, why not? I think we could. But to say like, oh, the goal is top 10.
Yeah.
There's 15 freaking awesome riders, again, that have been racing all year. Just because I did good at one race doesn't like automatically mean I'm going to go do good again, whatever, or do even better. Doesn't mean I'm just going to get better every time. It's not easy. All those guys are training their butt off. That's all they're doing all summer, full focus, and they've been racing. All of them. I've done 2 in the last, 2 months, so whatever. So it's not easy, but could I get a top 10? Sure, I think I could. But if I'm top 15, I think I'd be happy with that. Would I be bummed if I got 20th? I mean, maybe a little bit because I know I can do better. But if I did my best and I had fun and I finished 20th, hey, that's all I had that day. But if I do my best and I have fun and I get 10th, that's great too. Whatever. So, that's all I can ask myself. Other guys might have their best day too. So my best that day might not be my best, but for that day, that was. Mm-hmm. I've kind of learned to just, take it like that. I'm always going to try 100%, but it might just not be my best that day, whatever. But, effort's going to be there always, but things might not work out. So for me, I'd love to be top 10. I'd be happy with the top 15. But more importantly, just having fun and just doing my best, whatever. So honestly, this weekend, I kind of said it like in my post, but on social media, I had fun, but I really didn't ride my best. I would say it was like 85, 90% like what I'm capable of. Just how I felt on the bike and just my personal performance. Just looking within myself, like I really didn't ride my best. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't my best either. Aside from like a results stand, I could have won and rode how I rode and still said, well, I won, but I really didn't ride my best. But I still won. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean was the best it could have been because I could have rode a little bit better, whatever. So I'm happy with it. I had an awesome time. I enjoyed it. I rode awesome, but it still wasn't like my best. So it doesn't mean I'm like mad about it. It's just like, man, I know I could even do a little bit better, potentially. So go have fun, try again, do it. And to be honest, I've learned that it's hard to do your best all the time. Like I said, it's not possible. You look at like somebody like Tomac, I know people's like, gosh, he just crushes everybody one moto, and then he gets like 5th the next moto. Like, what's up? I guarantee you, he tried 100% both times, but he was just his best that moto where he smoked everybody. Mm-hmm. That's like his potential, and that's kind of what I mean. Like, it's tough to just everybody at that level is so good. And they're all trying to do their best, that everybody's best doesn't come out all the time, and their worst doesn't come out all the time, at the same time. It's tough. We're all so close, whatever. So for me to say I was 90%, that means I might have been like a half a second a lap quicker, on average if I was 100%. Mm-hmm. But that half a second at that level might have bumped me up a few positions, whatever. So it's like, it's tough. There's so many good guys, and everybody works their butt off and tries really hard, and that. So like I said, for me, I can control what I do, and that's all I can control, and just go have fun and do my best. That's really all I want to do. So yeah, that's the end goal. So yeah,
sweet. Well, all right, man. We won't take up too much of your time here. So thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
We will, like I said, we will see you on this weekend
maybe
at
Friday.
Ironman.
Yeah. Maybe Friday.
I would say maybe Friday.
We got to pick our stuff up at roll call.
Yeah, so we're gonna get down there and try to get in and talk to some people on Friday. So we'll do that, and then and then we'll definitely hit you up after the race on on Saturday, and get a review.
Talk about that top 10.
A real time review in person on camera. It's gonna be great.
Chiz is gonna chiz.
No, that'd be awesome.
So
we'll try.
Yeah, and don't forget, everyone, aliassport.com this Friday.
It's for a great cause.
Go on, buy something, help support Chiz, get into the races, because as we keep preaching on this show, all these privateer guys need help getting to the races.
Yes.
And we want to do everything we can, whether it's buy merch, do sales like this, whatever. Hell, you want to just hand them $20 when you're going through the pits at the races. It all helps. So, awesome.
No, it does. Yep.
Well, thanks, Chiz. We
Thank you
appreciate
so
it,
much.
buddy. Have a great
thanks, sir.
rest of your night. We'll see you next weekend, bud.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I'll see you this weekend.
Later.
See ya.
Kyle Chisholm, everyone.
Kyle Chisholm.
Making moves.
God, who would have thought we'd have Kyle Chisholm on here when we started the show 5 years ago? Or 6 years ago, or whatever the hell it was. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's wild. But, great guy.
Chiz is a great guy.
He's an easy interview, too.
Yeah, I mean, dude, he's very articulate. He always has a lot to say. He always knows what he's talking about. Like a lot of guys will go off, they'll start off, and then they kind of run out of stuff to talk about and just kind of say the same thing over and over. And I mean, he's been doing this for a long time. He's a veteran. I mean, he turned pro in, I think it was 2005. You know, 2005? It was 2005 after Loretta's. You know, he's been a pro for 15, 16 plus years or whatever. So, I mean, he's been there, done that, had factory rides, been a privateer, had satellite rides, you know. I mean, he's been there, done that. So, he kind of, like he said, the older he's gotten, his perspective has changed, and he knows what he's talking about, and I don't know, it's cool to see a guy like Chiz. I know everybody, you know, Mathis like to say Chiz is going to Chiz and this and that, but I mean, Kyle Chisholm is literally one of the most consistent guys to ever do this. I know he's not winning and stuff like that, and I know people only look at that, but it's like if you look at Chisholm's results, like anytime he's at a race, you know you're going to get 100% from him effort-wise. You know, even if, like he said, he's not feeling 100%, like his effort's going to be there. And he just always comes through. I mean, you don't get subpar races from him. You just don't.
Nope.
You know, so it does make me wonder if he had a ride or he had the funds and he could have taken the whole summer seriously and had the able to do it. I really wonder where he would be at. I really do. If he was on equal equipment to everybody else.
I'm not sure he wants to do the whole outdoors.
I know for sure. Like I said, well, and this weekend too is going to be interesting. You know, I think it's going to help him too because it's going to be hot. It's going to be 95 degrees, so it's just going to be like, you know, obviously the humidity's not there, but it's going to be hot, just like Florida.
Yep.
You know, so I think that's going to help him too because I think that we're going to see. The humidity is not going to be as hot or bad as it was at Budds Creek, but I know the overall temperature is going to be higher.
Okay.
So I think we're going to see some melting going on in both classes this weekend. And with Chiz, like, you're just not going to get that. So,
nope.
Yeah, I mean, I think if he gets a start, I think he can put it in the top 10.
I think so too. I mean, he went 11-13 last week.
And he worked his way. And like you said, he didn't ride
yesterday, whatever.
He didn't ride his best. He didn't get great starts.
Nope.
You know, he worked his way through. So, you know, he was, you know, if you call Cody Schock the number one privateer, like Chiz was the second privateer right behind Schock. So, yeah, I think he can do it. And just like you said, a great interview, great guy. And, you know, go support.
aliassport.com.
Go support.
Yep.
It's for a great cause. And like I said, anything helps out.
All right. We've been at this for almost 3 hours.
All right, so let's just pick winners for Iron Man.
I told you, AP.
You seriously sticking by that?
Yep.
Okay.
AP, and I'm going to go with Jet.
Okay. I'm going Star Yamaha again. I'm going J. Martin and Dylan.
Okay.
Yep. I don't.
No Justin Cooper, huh?
No. I don't think.
Okay.
I honestly don't think Justin Cooper even wins a moto. I don't think Jet wins a moto. I think that J. Mart. I think that they had some bike issues that first moto, and I think everybody was. I think Star as a whole, other than J. Coop, was having bike issues.
Yeah.
Obviously, Dylan was able to ride through it. But I think that they were having some chassis issues other than J. Coop. I think that J. Mart, the second moto, was kind of what we have come to expect out of J. Mart these last couple nationals. And J. Mart's really good at Crawfordsville.
Yeah?
He's very good at Crawfordsville. He has good, you know, he's put in better results than not when it comes to Crawfordsville. And like I said, Dylan right now is just like on another level. So as much as I'd like to see AP win it, especially close to home, I don't think if Dylan gets a start, I just know what he's on his level right now.
All right.
If it's a mud moto, maybe AP, but I don't think it's going to be muddy. I think it's going to be fucking brutal this weekend.
Okay. Well, fair enough. Fair enough. So, all right, everybody. This has been another episode of the Moto Aftermath Show presented by TLR Coatings, BC.Pizza, Premier Custom Trailers. Also, want to thank our normal show sponsors there, Complete Racing Solutions, Alias Sport, JT Cycle, and the Dirt Bike Depot there. Thank them all for being on board. Thank you guys for tuning in, watching, listening, everything like that. If you want to support us, lots of links in the description to support us, support the sponsors, support the privateer guys, all of it everywhere. Thanks to Chiz. Thanks to Darkside for coming on tonight and chatting with us. Really appreciate it. We are going to be at Ironman. Me and Justin will be down there. So if you see us wandering around, feel free to stop us, say hi. I mean, shoot. Who was that one kid we said that you knew from back in the day that was at Redbud yesterday?
Oh, Lance Owen?
No.
Oh, what kid? Jonathan Studer?
Maybe, yeah. Sorry, I don't remember your name, dude. I know you told me you watched the show, and I'm terrible with names. So, but yeah, there was kid stopped me there and talked to me for about 20 minutes before I left. So if you, like I said, if you do see us at Ironman, make sure to stop, say hi,
and also
contrary to Justin's resting bitch face, we are nice people.
This has been a long weekend, man. We're gonna have, it's gonna be a little bit special though, not only because we're gonna be at Ironman, but we're kind of,
look for those Moto Aftermath Show stickers on a lot of things.
No,
we'll put it out. Follow us on Instagram because there may be some big announcements for stickers going on some helmets for this weekend.
And not only that, but I imagine he's probably already put it out, but can we just kind of tell him who's they're making their return this weekend?
Oh, we've been over this a bunch of times. Kevin Moran.
Yeah, but
Privateer hero.
Yeah, but
coming back this weekend.
Yeah, 450, right?
Yes.
Okay, 450. So the reason why I say that is not only because that's cool.
Speaking of that, hold on. I got to text him to remember my tires.
Okay. We're kind of going to be, because we're going to be in the pits all weekend. So we're going to be in the pits with him, kind of following him around. Obviously, we're going to be helping out collab with his social media stuff. He's going to be doing his. Obviously, we do collabs. If everybody watched the Redbud stuff, the Instagram on Kev's social media, we're going to be following him around, kind of doing a...
It may take me 6 months to get the video out, but we're going to be doing it.
Return, kind of following him around. Like I said, we're going to be in the pits. We're going to talk to Chiz, talking to Meshi. I don't know if Bobby Piazza is going to be there, but we'll try to find him if he's there. Talk to Hubert. Maybe we'll talk to Steve Mathis. Maybe we can talk to Dylan Ferendis. We're going to have a camera out. We're going to be talking to people. We are going to do our normal show after the race on Saturday.
We're going to do it more weed show-esque because we're going to walk around the pits and try to find people.
We're not doing a easy up because this obviously is out of town. And but yeah, so it is going to be a show. It's just going to be a little bit different, but it is going to be a little bit cooler because, like Travis said, possible big announcements on some stickers and stuff. And it's going to be a good time, guys. It's going to be a little bit different than what our normal show was, and kind of some stuff that we've wanted to do in the past, just haven't had the availability to do it. But
now we know enough people, and we're gonna try to make some stuff happen. We've got our crew passes, I guess you're gonna call it, so we can do our thing all weekend. And
if there's anybody that if any of you guys want to comment down below specifically that you'd like to see us try to talk to, leave a comment below, and we'll see what we can do. And don't say, go inside the Honda rig with Ken Roxon and Jet Lawrence, because that's not going to happen. But if we do see him, we will try to talk to him. But yeah, so if there's anybody specifically that you guys want us to try to find if they're going to be there, leave a comment down below, and we'll try to do our best.
Yeah, sure. So thanks for tuning in, everyone. Again, we appreciate everybody watching. Lots of links in the description below to help support us through merch, Amazon, sponsors, whole 9 yards. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see everybody next week for Ironman.